and welcome to the Just for Gamers video game podcast.
Alright.
Episode 115, E3 used to be a thing. In this week's episode, we break down all the E3 conferences. JfG Ash has all the soldering skills. JfG Alex has escaped from a room. There's progress in the art of buying games. And finally, we fuck off.
See you then. Cheers then. Bye. Hello and welcome to the JfG Podcast. This is episode 115. My name is Alex and I'm joined as ever by my very good friend Ash. Hey buddy, how are you?
As always, buddy, I am good on a Wednesday.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Sparkling thoughts. Give me the hope to go on. And actually, this Wednesday, buddy, I'm ultra super pumped.
Ultra super pumped!
And you may think it's because of all the wondrous news that we've had from E3. You'd be wrong, buddy.
I was going to say, having watched E3, I don't think that. But yes, please continue.
No, fucking tablet watch. Fucking
Tablet watch.
New battery came, fixed it. Did some soldering or soldering or sodomy. I don't know which one it is. I'm going to go for the first one.
I think that's safest, yes.
And soldered the new battery in and gave it a good old charge. For some reason, it just likes to charge to 94% at the moment. So
okay,
I'm draining it completely and I'm going to do a full charge on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it booted up straight away. Beautiful thing. Been playing a little bit of Pokemon Ruby again.
Fucking hell, buddy. That's quite the result.
I know. I've backed up the data to the Google Drive as well, just in case it fucking goes again. Because who knows? It might.
Well, you just need to buy like 3 more of those batteries and you're probably good for another 5 years.
£10 a pop. I'll do that.
I mean, you could pay that for like an 8-pack of double A's.
Exactly,
So,
and also you get the added bonus of waiting, 2 to 4 weeks for it to get delivered.
And doing some soldering, which everyone enjoys, no matter, what age group or
it's true.
Sexual orientation. So, there you go.
But yeah, so I got my tablet working. I didn't think it was going to work, but fuck me, it totally did. It was ace.
Sweet as the proverbial. That's great news, buddy.
Other great news. I told, I think I spoke about it last week, sending the old power supply unit back. A couple of days later, they're like, yeah, that's fucked, mate. I'm like, cool. Good news. Yep. They're like, yep, you've still got your warranty. They sent me a little picture of it open. They were like, this bit's broken. I'm like, I have no idea what that is, but you're damn right it's broken. And then I got a cheeky email saying your new power supply will be with you next Tuesday. I'm like, fucking hell. I only sent this thing to Bolton. So I thought, the new one would come from there. No. New one comes from the Netherlands, obviously. No idea
Shit the
why.
bed.
I know.
No.
So it got shipped over from the Netherlands, went to Germany, came in at Gatwick, came up to East Midlands, and then, came to me. That came in on the Tuesday, plugged it all in. Oh, another nice little tidbit there. They sent me an upgraded version with a 7-year warranty. I'm like, thanks very much.
Now that is how you guarantee a customer for life, buddy.
Indeed. I think
good
mine
shit
was
from
like
Corsair.
A silver certificate, or is it bronze? I can't remember, but this one is gold. I'm like, whoa, gold.
Shit, yeah. Oh, that's impressive stuff.
Yeah,
I like
mate.
that.
So always check your warranty before spunking money on Amazon and having to return it.
A 7-year warranty on a PSU. I mean, that is the lifetime of the PSU. You're unlikely to be running that PC for more than like 7 years.
Mate, I'm gonna try now. I have to. That power
just run it into the ground.
That's going to stay in the next several computers I've got.
I just mean it was a meaty power supply for you wouldn't buy that power supply unless you were building a gaming rig.
Exactly.
And a gaming rig's never going to last you more than 7 years. So they're essentially going, if this ever breaks, you can have a new one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And you know how I said on the previous one I had so many cables. This has got even more. It's crazy.
Nice. You need to get some more neons in there, buddy.
The beautiful thing is you don't have to have them all plugged in. You can, they plug into the power supply unit. It's beautiful. So, I've got a load of extra cables that I don't need. They're just stashed away for a rainy day. Maybe I'm gonna... Is it SLI it, or that's not the...
Yeah.
Is that the...
That's the two graphics cards side by side.
I thought that was like the NVIDIA term for it. Isn't there like a different one for AMD? I can't remember.
Possibly. I've always known it as SLI. It's kind of like Hoover. Yeah. It's just a brand that describes the whole industry.
So we are back streaming on the internet.
Yeah,
come and watch us.
Hello.
If you really want to see our ugly mugs in a poor resolution,
you're fucking welcome to. I'm backlit. It's weird looking.
Just
I don't
your back.
care. Do we see if I give a shit?
I don't. I mean, I've got this lovely glow from my laptop that illuminates my face right now. I'm freshly shaved as well. I look extremely I think it's the sweat from the heat, but I'm quite shiny. I think I need some foundation or whatever it's called. I don't know these things. Is it concealer? Is that a thing?
Well, concealer for blemishes, foundation's your basic sort of whole face there. I mean,
yeah,
maybe you've been playing a bit too much Hitman in Paris, buddy.
Yeah,
that's what's going on.
Maybe, yeah, been crabbing about, have you?
Who can say? Who can say? But it's good to be back on the old internet, especially with Mixer support.
No, we could co-op stream on Mixer, buddy.
Yeah.
If you want. Apparently, we're pro on Mixer.com. Also, we have a little badge saying we were originally Beam streamer because we were there from the start, mate.
Fucking, that's how we do though. In many ways, buddy, at the forefront more often than not. I would say.
Doing really badly at the forefront,
Absolutely.
We're like the front line that gets shot up.
Tremendously
really
unpopular, but persevering anyway at the forefront. That's how it goes.
That's level 55 on Mixer.com.
Yep, level 55 mage.
I relived part of my youth this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So my son, for his birthday, got a skateboard. And for some reason, unknown to me, I have my skateboard from when I was 16. It's just in the loft. I think my son saw it one day when we were up there. He's like, oh, I want a skateboard. And for some reason, he's remembered that for the past so many years. So yeah, he got one. And he was like, come on, Dad, me and you, we're going to go skateboard. And I was like, okay. This sounds like a great idea. I'm not old and unstable anymore. I haven't done exercise for years. So I'll be fine. But, first of all, bit daunting was holy shit. How did I used to do this? No fear, just throw myself off stairs, jumping on handrails and whatnot. Fuck, I wouldn't even dream of that now. Jesus Christ. Scary shit.
Well, you're always feeling a little... it's like you feel invincible when you're a youngling, don't you, buddy? And then Anakin comes along and fucking cuts your head off. And that's the thing about getting older. That's a metaphor for life, courtesy of George Lucas right there. And it applies to skateboarding as well, especially grinding rails.
Yeah, indeed. Good news, buddy. I can still do a kickflip.
Go on.
I was all over it. I was like, fuck me. Look at this shit.
Man,
I can do tricks. I nearly did a 360 kickflip as well, but obviously hit myself in the shin and it fucking really hurt. So I won't be doing that ever again.
Fair enough. Still impressive, buddy. You'd be the talk of the town with your kickflips.
Indeed.
Just go out and do your kickflips. Go around the town of an evening. People are like, oh, there he is.
Just 1 second, buddy. Can you just pop on the stream? For 1 second, we've just had a follower.
Which stream?
Any of the streams, YouTube, Twitch, or Mixer. We've got a new follower on the stream. I mean, It's an interesting name. It just says it right above my name, which is really cool. I'm happy with it. I feel like I can be part of it.
Well,
yeah. I mean, that literally just happened.
Is that because I'm backlit in this fashion?
Possibly. I mean, do we dare say what this guy's... I mean, how has that tag got through?
I don't know, but I'd like to welcome to the JfG podcast community, Whites Must Die Today. And thanks so much for your support and for following us on our various channels. Looks like more like a YouTube subscriber than a Mixer one there, buddy, if you ask me. But...
It's not you. It's either Twitch or Mixer. I'm going to say Twitch.
You're going Twitch?
I'm going Twitch.
Okay.
I will be investigating and seeing if we can get that taken away.
We need all the help we can get, buddy.
Oh, so, that is true. I mean, yeah, I guess we broaden our horizons to a new community if we stick with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for now, I'll leave it. See what happens.
Yeah, I mean, the less said about that, the better.
I love the fact that it's going to be there until the next person follows us.
Yeah, I think I can address that.
Okay. But I can't believe that. Kick flipping my way to Joytown I was doing, buddy. I felt like Tony Hawk. Obviously, I did this in a kids' park where there are slides and things like that. And they have the nice, cushioned floor just in case I fell and hurt myself. I said it was because, my son had never done it before, and I was like, I wanted him to be safe, but it was actually for me. I was like, fuck this shit. No. I'm good.
It's probably best. Sorry, I was just I was momentarily distracted.
Why would that be, buddy?
I don't know. I don't know.
Any idea?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. No.
Yeah. I hope he's still watching.
Yep.
Enjoying the show.
I've made a subtle attempt to address that.
Okay. Yeah.
So hopefully that'll pop through shortly. Anyway, we'll move on for now, buddy. Have you got anything for us, buddy, from your interesting week? Or
that's pretty much my week done. Obviously, I've been over cucumbered with information from E3, but we obviously are going to have that as a massive section in a bit. So, what have you been up to, buddy?
Well, I don't know why that hasn't worked. It's frustrating. Hang on a sec.
Don't worry, buddy. You crack on. I think I know how to sort this out. I need to go into the streaming settings on it. But yeah, cool. Winner.
There you go. No, don't worry. It did work. We're all good. Okay, I'll carry on.
He's a winner. New subscriber. Well played, buddy.
there I am, subscribing. Right, so this week... sorry, I've composed myself now. This week...
Whites must die today.
They must die today.
What the fuck is it?
I mean,
sure.
I don't know what time zone he's in, because time's ticking away. It's 9:05 here, so...
yeah. Anyway, buddy, what have you been up to? Please let me know.
Well, firstly, I won the game buying game this week.
Congratulations! You won the game of buying a game.
Yeah, you gave me a little sniff of, and I acted instantly.
You did not hesitate. You were like,
I certainly did not.
Wipeout.
Yeah,
your thoughts.
We discovered that our little sort of family sharing thing was still happening and continuing, and I said something like, "Oh, we should probably buy the Wipeout Omega Collection to celebrate," and then Funk said something, and then you said yes, and that was good enough for me, buddy. Yeah. I fucking was on the store in a flash. 3 minutes later, the conversation continues about whether or not we should buy Wipeout, and I was like, I've done that.
Too late.
I have done that. So yeah, anyway.
I mean, fair dues, buddy. I said I said pull the trigger, and you did instantly.
I fucking did. I didn't waste any time. No mucking about, buddy. No shiting about from me. So,
exactly.
yeah, straight in there, and we'll talk about that shortly. But what I've actually done this week was sort of Saturday fun day with my sister, because it's her birthday celebrations. So she booked a load of fun stuff to do, and we did it. And we started off with an escape room.
What
you might
theme?
remember me. It was like a mob, like a gangster one, where you had to break into. Man, see, sleeping with the fishes, see. So we had to break into this like mob boss's office and find the murder weapon.
Crabtown. Did you have to crab about?
It was actually really good, because it was in it was right in the centre of town, and it was in sort of a build-up area. So they obviously had limited space. They'd sort of they had like two houses they converted into like a big basement, and that was where all the rooms were and everything. Yeah. It's always kind of sinister when you go to these escape rooms. Are always in like fucking weird places, and you meet weird people. They're like, "Hi," and you're like, "Am I going to die today? Is this
Welcome to my escape room?"
Yeah, well, it's always a bit sinister, and normally they're trying to create a bit of a mood as well.
I'm going to lock you out.
Yeah, exactly. They say stuff like that because they're trying to get you in the mood, and you're constantly sort of playing along, and you're thinking, "No, this could be it. This could be the end." But no, it wasn't.
It could be locked up forever.
Yeah.
I mean, you should. What was that program? I can't remember what I watched now. The where he had four people and they had near-death experiences or something, and they were locked in a basement for ages.
I mean, it's happened. It's
That
been
was
in the
a
news in
program
the
I
past. So yeah, no, we were fine. It was good. It was good because despite the fact that they had limited space, they kind of played to their strengths. So you'll remember probably a year and a half ago now, if you're still listening at this point, dear listener, I did one of these escape rooms over in Hungary, in Budapest, and they had quite a lot of room to play with. So there was stuff like finding the cogs to build this sort of cog puzzle on a wall, and then you turned a crank to lower something from the ceiling, like much more physical stuff that you can do when you got a lot of space. But these guys, obviously, they had sort of, the room wasn't much bigger than my living room is, to be honest. But they played to their strengths. They had like interesting puzzles with code breaking stuff that makes you feel really clever when you get to it. Like,
work it out.
And also some really neat little tricks. Like they had a mirror on the wall that was actually, they'd built the wall. They'd clearly built like a fake chimney breast out, and the mirror, you could push it in, and there was like a secret little room in there. They had a bit where we were spending ages trying to get the combinations to these two locks in like a dresser with glass doors, and inside it were these two like golden busts. And
did you think, let's just smash this glass?
Yeah, because it's all cameras and microphones and everything. So yeah, you could have just been like, "Fuck this!"
I found him.
We probably would have been ejected from the facilities had we done that.
Just shouted Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy! Yeah, so you found these busts, and then there were like little holes on the mantelpiece, and when you put the holes in, you could pull like the whole fire open, and then there was a safe in there and stuff. So yeah, I thought it was really well done. It was cool, and it was it's a really weird thing to do, but they're getting more and more popular now.
They are getting very popular. And it makes me think of the question, how many people do you think actually fucking freak out in these situations? They're like, I'm in a cooker!
I mean, it must happen. Yeah, it must happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I bet there's loads of fucking funny CCTV.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, we did this sort of the murder mystery gangster one, which I quite like that as a theme. But they did do, and we're thinking of going back, they did do like a horror one with like...
Fuck that, I'm out.
With actors and darkness.
No,
and
I'm good.
This one was really cool though, man. Like at
I'm
one
sure
point
it was, but you throw like... You're saying like, chuck me in like Resident Evil house and I've got to make my way out. Nah, mate. Nah.
Yeah. This one, it was just all nice touches, hidden things. I had to take a record player apart, and inside it was a DVD. And then when we found
record player, what fucking idiot put that in there?
I know, right? Fucking schoolboy. They don't know what era they're in. And then, and then when we found the DVD, there was a lockbox in the corner, and the DVD had a code written on it. And when you put the code into the lockbox, a TV popped out, like the TVs that you get that are like on a motor and they pop out of a cupboard or whatever.
Oh, nice. I like
And
it.
so
like
that
at the
popped
foot of your
out.
bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of those popped up, and we put the DVD in, and that it was just fucking cool. Anyway,
Was
I'll
it a
stop going on
naughty
about it.
DVD? Was it?
It certainly wasn't. It showed a murder. So
Murder. There's been a murder.
yeah, it was cool, and lots of nice touches. So enjoyed that.
Who was murdered, mate? Was it one of the mobsters?
It was
Two Fingers,
Bobby 3 chops,
3 balls.
Billy 3 tackles. Yeah. Very cool. I really recommend those escape rooms. They are really fun, and you feel a little bit silly at first, but if you can go in there with some good friends, then you can have a fucking good time.
Maybe we should do that for a shunt.
That could be cool. Yeah.
I'd do that. That'd be funny.
It's good fun.
We'd boss it because we're well smart as well.
Yeah, Gibbons, buddy. Gibbons, we got it all covered.
Brute force.
Yeah, just fucking kick door in. That's
Fuck you, door! Nothing could contain me!
Just turn up like in character, like full fantasy dress and shit.
Yeah,
they must get some types in these places.
It'd be well good. I'd love it. Bit of RP.
stuff. Yeah.
I'm in.
That's what it's all about.
Dog
So, yeah.
simulator.
So that was fucking good, buddy. And then we moved on to the second activity of the day, which was segwaying. Which
Segwaying.
something I've never done, going on segways. And the whole time I kept thinking about Job in Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Like, because he just spent the whole first season on a Segway, and the car chase they did with Job on the Segway and Michael in the van with the stairs from the airport on the back, like 8 mile an hour down the freeway. Fucking well funny. No, Segwaying, you look like a retard when you do it.
Of course you do.
But it's really fun, and
Nice.
it's really clever the way it works. You literally just sort of lean onto your toes and you go forwards, and lean onto your heels and you go backwards, and then to turn, you've just got a handle in front of you, and you just go, I'll just turn that, I'll just like hold that left or hold that right, and you spin on the spot.
I feel like it's a bit like the Wii balance board, because there was a game on there, like some sports game. I think I'm going to say Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. And there was a ski jumping one, and you had to balance perfectly, like, and then you had to like lean a tiny bit forward to like get your jump right and things like that. So
No, that sounds
I
about
reckon
right.
I've probably mastered it already without
I'm sure.
getting on a Segway.
Mate,
I reckon I'll be off.
15 minutes. I mean, the fact that you used to skateboard as well. Like,
Still do.
15 minutes. Still do. Mad about town. Kick flipping and fuck. Yeah, all about it. 15 minutes on one of these things and you're away. Like, you grow in confidence massively. We were on the ones that had like the all-terrain wheels. We were going up like
off-road.
we were going through fields and stuff, and avoid like dodging around molehills and shit. But yeah,
Did you take it
like,
off any sweet jumps?
sweet. I didn't get airborne, but I did do some tricks, buddy.
Did you
I
do
was
some
like
donuts?
one leg. I was like spinning on the spot.
Oh shit! Woo!
They go really fast. Like, or it feels that way anyway, because you're just standing up in life. You're not like in a cockpit
You're just
or anything.
standing there moving.
They go like 15 mile an hour, and
That's crazy.
that feels fast. Like,
Yeah, man.
dodging bees and shit through the fields. But yeah, it was cool, and it's the way they turn as well. Like, you think you have to like drive up and park them and stuff, but you can literally just drive up to a spot and then you can turn on the spot, so you don't have to sort of coax it into gaps or anything. But
So,
yeah,
what do you reckon? Segway and VR, great combination.
absolutely, yeah. So yeah, just highly recommended. I think it's really fun. Again, I think it's stupid. You look like an idiot. You got like a silly little helmet on, and you scud about. And I don't know if I'd want to do it. You know, you see these when you go to like foreign cities and stuff. Then you see people doing Segway tours and stuff. I'm not sure I fancy that, but going through like the countryside, it was really, really good. So
Nice. Like it.
very cool. Yeah, and then followed all that up with a nice piss up and a nice barbecue, buddy, which was cool.
Standard.
But that was not the end of my activities over the weekend.
You're a busybody, aren't you? You
yeah,
like to get out and about.
Fucking day seized, mate. Day seized. And Sunday was seized when we went to the new crazy golf course in Tunbridge, buddy. Dino Golf.
Not
Dino
dino
themed. It's dino themed. There's fucking dinosaurs there. They go like that and stuff. And I've got to say, Mildly disappointed with that course, I got to say.
Mate.
All the dressing around it was very nice, and it's only been open 3 weeks, so, nice and G-fresh. But at the same time, far too many holes with fuck all going on, just a few mounds here and there. Not enough holes, like hole 17, where you got to whack the ball into the Stegosaurus's mouth, and it poops out.
Does he poop it out?
It poops out.
I was going to say, imagine if it was the other way around.
Yeah, no.
In his ass, at his mouth.
Right up his arse.
Just imagine, you
Out his
wouldn't
gob.
see it coming. Like, hole 16 done. Well done, guys. What did you get? 2? 2? Yeah? Yeah,
2.
hole in one for me.
2.
Hole
Yeah.
17, let's go. What the fuck is this?
No, it needed more like that because there just wasn't enough of that, and the dressing around it was excellent. Like there was one of the holes from like hole 8 to hole 9. There was literally one of those bridges that you have on like a rope that you can pull yourself across the river.
Oh, nice.
So they really made the effort on the dressing. There was a waterfall and all giant fossils and stuff.
Yeah.
But then the actual course was a little bit disappointing. So,
Shame.
18 holes though, buddy, and it was a 50 par, and I came in at a 51. So not too bad for a first go. And it was that last hole, buddy. I needed to do it in 2, but it was one of these ones where you've got to crack it up a hill, and there's the hole at the top, like
dangerous.
your typical hole 18. Right. Yeah. So
it's a toughie.
Just over par on there, but
lucky mate. Next time you'll get.
Yeah, absolutely. Next time, next weekend. So yeah.
Did you get the season pass?
Other than that, I'm still shopping around for a 2DS because I've decided I'm getting one, but I've decided I'm not spending 70. There's 75 with a game new. 70 on the Tesco store at the moment.
Yep.
And I have decided that 60 will be the point at which I pull the trigger. Now, if I have to wait for the XL to come out for them to be pushed down a $5 or a $10,
possibly. If not, Black Friday kind of thing, sales.
Absolutely.
And stuff.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I've decided now. I've been looking into the games and stuff that I've already seen like 20 games that I quite like.
20. What's number 1 on the list?
Well, number 1 is actually Super Mario Bros. 2.
Nice.
I've never owned a proper Mario platformer. Obviously, I've played through all of them. But yeah, as much as I play a lot of racing games, and we've got Wipeout at the moment, and Mario Kart's all well and good, but I just think Super Mario Bros. 2 looks really cool. So
yeah, man,
that's number 1 on my list. That's the game I'll probably get if I get a package.
Ocarina of Time.
I would love to get Ocarina of Time
because that's on there.
Finally play a fucking Zelda game for the first time in my life.
Yeah, mate, do it.
It's exciting. Yeah.
Do a bit
and
of
obviously all that Kirby shit as well, buddy. And fuck me, Nintendo. We're going to talk about Nintendo in a bit, but strength to strength, I would say, buddy.
Crazy town right now.
Really making some good moves at the moment.
I know. They just need to bring out the games now.
Absolutely. And it's a race against time for Christmas, I think, basically, to make that desirable.
I'm in... I don't know about this Christmas. I'm in 2 minds. Do I try and go for the Switch, or do I be like, give me money to get a 4K TV or put towards a 4K TV? And they're the options that I'm weighing up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult for you because, family man and all, like, easier for me to be selfish and go after the big tech. But
exactly.
But will you get as much? What will bring you more joy? I suppose is the question, and the answer is probably the Switch.
I know, right?
So
crazy.
Hold out for the 4K TVs to come down again in a year's time or something. And
yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's to wait another year or so, or maybe a bit more.
I really feel like we're going to see this cycle out.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like I'm going to prop myself up with other gadgets. I still might get the 4K TV, but I think we might end up seeing this cycle out and the
PS5 kind of thing. Yeah, man. I don't like that'll be out in a couple of years.
Yeah, that's the way things are going.
Of course it will.
You're not wrong.
I mean, what was it like a few podcasts ago? I read that analysts predict that it's coming out in 2018.
Yeah, and who can say they're wrong the way that things are going?
I know, right?
Gibbons.
Crazy.
Well, there you go, buddy. That's me. Other than that, the weather's really hot, so I'm in a mood.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like it.
I mean, I've got my PC going. I got the MacBook going. It's just fucking sitting under the stairs in like a sweat box. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm losing loads of weight, so I've got to pound the booze to try and keep hydrated.
Just keep
obviously.
level, otherwise you disappear.
And yeah, I know. It's just not good.
Again, I haven't bothered closing the windows, and there would appear to be some people recreating Need for Speed in Tunbridge Wells this evening. I keep hearing like very large engines and then sirens.
They're trying to bring down the house, buddy.
They're trying to bring down the house. The wheelman.
The wheelman.
Yeah, the
showman.
The showman.
And the... I don't know.
The other guy.
The other cunt, yeah.
Fuck. Ugh. That.
I can't wait to get Need for Speed Payback. It's going to be a great game. Have we mentioned the fact that EA have put their prices up by £5?
I don't think we've explicitly mentioned it on the show, no.
It's just saying they're a bunch of cunts.
Yep. Pulling the trigger there.
60 quid now for all their games on the standard edition on the store.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Not great.
Cool.
Well,
anyway.
There we go. Okay, we'll move on. This show is going to be a little bit different from normal because obviously we've got all our E3 stuff, so rather than having as many sections as we normally do and doing a news section and everything, we're just going to talk about what we've been playing and then head straight into E3 chat and make our way through the conferences as they happened and just have a little delve into all the different titles. But it's very, very easy to get bogged down on a week like this when so much news is there, so many announcements have been made. We're going to try and keep this bright and breezy this year. We've been bogged down in the
judgments
past.
on everything, buddy. Like,
absolutely.
No context. Just be like, shit.
Not even educated. No, just like, this
shit
will
or
be
hit, buddy.
amazing.
We're going to do E3 shit or hit. Or hit.
Yeah, that can be the end of each one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, okay. With that in mind, and people thinking, wow, what incredible quality Ash and Alex will be bringing us this week, let's move on ahead into what we've been playing, buddy.
Cool.
So would you like to kick things off, buddy?
Could I?
We've got a nice little list each this week, actually. So, yeah, go for it.
So, because the Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind expansion came out, I was like, yeah, Elder Scrolls Online, installed it again. That was, that took a while to download, 70-odd gigs.
And then was there a new patch that was also 70 gigs once you'd done that?
Luckily, it downloaded with the patch itself.
Right.
So I was good.
Good for a week or so then.
Yeah, probably. And booted it up. Old Ronnie Wood is still there at level 15. Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Went in there, started doing a bit of questing, and I was just like, this game looks fucking terrible.
It does look dire, doesn't it?
It looks so bad. The game's 3 years old now, so I'm guessing it's going to look a bit ropey, but... Yeah, no, it's just a bad game. I can't get into it. I thought, you know what, I'll try it again. I tried, no, because obviously at the moment we've got a bit of time on our hands. I know we've just bought Wipeout, but that's more of a casual game. It's not something to get stuck into. I finished off Horizon now, so I was like, right, let's find something meaty to, slip into, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not this game.
It's not that.
It's not this game. Keeping with the theme of theme of Elder Scrolls, I played some more Elder Scrolls Legends on the phone and tablet. So tablet/phone watch, buddy.
Tablet/phone watch.
So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a decent card game. It's got different bits, and also it's got the lore of Elder Scrolls, which I really enjoy, which is good. Out of last week's podcast, I also looked at Magic 2015 on Android. I played about 10 minutes of it, and I couldn't get on with it. No, I don't know if it's too in depth or I need to put obviously more time than 10 minutes into it. But I was going through it, and it was going through the tutorial, and I was just like, okay, clearly it's a more advanced game than Elder Scrolls Legends, Hearthstone, and stuff like that. But I just can't really get on with it because it sounds so horrible and fickle, but yeah, the animations are crappy.
Oh, that's not great. Oh.
It's not a bad looking game. It's okay, but no, I know what I know. I know how certain card games work, and this has got more in it than those things. And like, yeah, I should give it a go, but I can't.
I mean,
I don't think card games are for me, buddy.
Well, I've never really felt like they are for me either, but I did enjoy Hearthstone a hell of a lot, and I kind of put that down to the Blizzard sheen, you know? I think that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
But I don't know, really. I'd like to try and get into it because, you know, Funk swears by it, but at the same time, maybe you're right, maybe card games just really aren't for us at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I've played my fair share of them in the past, and none of them have stuck with me. Let's just put it that way. So I don't know. So yeah, I might go back to it. I've left it installed. I haven't deleted it, buddy. So maybe one day I'll go back. Maybe.
Yeah, why not? Couple of biatches.
Talking about games that I've gone back to, see how I'm tying it all together. Nice and
man,
neatly,
that was seamless.
Seamless, mate. No,
good lord,
ruined it there though by talking about it.
Ruined now. Yeah, all over. Fucked.
It's like laughing at your own jokes, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've been back in JRPG town. Whatever it is.
Some sort of return to Persona.
I've been back in Persona, buddy, and I played a few more hours, got to hour 7, and I thought, hey, that's the tutorial finished now, I think, because he came up and said, I can't really tell you much more. You know, if you want to find out more, go and look in the menu. I'm like, yeah, fucking sweet. Let's just play the game. No, the tutorials hadn't finished. I'm still learning new shit, like about how to fuse personas together. Like I'm at the point where I'm taking the palace over, mate. I'm gonna fuck it. I'm doing it.
Do you think the whole game's gonna be like constantly learning new stuff, or do you think they'll ever reach the point where you know everything about it?
I think there's gonna be a point in like I'm 12 and a half hours in now, so I've stuck a fair bit more in, about 7 or 8 hours this week, and yeah, I think there's going to be a point where it's like, right, I know what's going on, because there's all little hints and stuff like, oh yeah, go to the shop and buy bread to restore your health and things like that. One massive bit of advice that I will give you is do not use like the auto recover button. I think it's square when you're not in battle, because that uses like your spell, your SP, and then when you come to fight, you've got none left. Because,
okay, yeah, that's quite crucial then, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I thought, auto recover, that'll use like the medicine bottles that I've got stashed away wherever, probably up my ass or something. I don't know.
Yeah, probably up there.
Right up there, buddy.
Right up there.
Yeah, and just like the dinosaur golf course, just pop it right up there. And yeah, no, it uses your SP, which is used for your fucking persona's magic skills, like all your different elements, like wind, electricity, fire, or whatever. And yeah, so yeah, don't do that. Use your medicine bottles, because I got to a point. So what you have to do, the palace, you go in there, you have to get to the final section, then leave the palace, wait for a day, and then go back into the palace the day after that to finish it off. And it's good though, because there's different like various save points within the palace. The palace is like a dungeon that you have to go through. There are a fuckload of enemies there. It takes a long time to get through. I think it took me like an hour and a half to get through it. I mean, it would like by the end of it, like, because I did it all in one sitting to try and get to the end of the dungeon, I was just like, fucking hell, this is a lot of the same kind of battling, because obviously it's turn-based like Pokemon RPG kind of style.
That sort of combat that comes with the genre. Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. And after doing that for like a solid hour and a half, because you've got like basic stealth mechanics and stuff like that, but they're not amazing. By the end of like an hour and a half of just doing that, I was just like, oh god, that was intense. I think the next time that I have to do this kind of thing, I'm gonna do it for like 45 minutes or an hour or whatever. Get to a point where I'm like, I feel like I've had enough, and then just fuck off. Go back into the normal world, sleep it off, and then do some of the really stupid social stuff, which I'm kind of enjoying as well.
Well, I suppose that's weird. The point of the game, isn't it? You got to kind of mix. Totally. You've got so many avenues of opportunity available. You just got to mix things up.
The only thing that I'm worried about is missing out on stuff, because there's certain points where I've heard or read about you have to have a certain level of skill in a certain area to do certain tasks. I'm like, I don't want to get to like a task where I want to do this task and I haven't got the skill level to do it. That would just piss me off.
Yeah, but from what I understand, you're not going to be able to do everything in this game. It's kind of designed
it's
so
a
that
multi-playthrough and there's multiple endings and things like that. And so, yeah, Persona 5 really getting back into it. And yeah, I think I'm going to stick with it for a while, see how I get on, buddy, which is cool.
Nice, man. I will go back at some point. I sort of drifted away from it as we bought a couple of more games and some demos came out, and then this week with E3, there's a few sort of free things to play and stuff. But I'm thinking about firing up some old stuff that I haven't played for a while over the coming weeks. I know Funk's been making a concerted effort to jump back in and wring the value out of a few old purchases. I think I need to probably do the same, to be honest.
Gibbons, buddy. So, apart from a few games that obviously we've played together, what have you been playing, buddy? Because I haven't done anything else.
Well, firstly, I have to say I've been playing that Chameleon thing again.
That Chameleon game thing.
Yeah, that PS Plus game.
How's that working out for you?
It's a good game.
In what way?
It's a good game. It's just a good game. It's just a little puzzler game. As I said before, it would probably work fine on a tablet or mobile. There's just something quite nice about it. It's quite an elegant puzzler. You're a chameleon. You can change colour to the face buttons on the controller, so square for pink and so on. And there's rugs on the floor, so you can blend into those rugs to avoid robots and security cameras, and you collect flies, and that's literally it. But it's just quite nicely done, and I found myself basically whenever I've only got 15 minutes, or I'm waiting for something, or I'm waiting for football to start, or I'm going out shortly, just been jumping in, and I've started racking up a bit of playtime on this. I think I might have played it for an hour now. And considering the fact that each level can be completed in sort of 20 to 30 seconds, that's quite a long time.
That's a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of levels.
I maintain that this is just a fucking little mobile game that, is probably not worth your time on a console such as this, but I can't argue with it. It's got its hooks in me. It's quite a nice little game. So there we go.
Nice, buddy. I mean, are you recommending that I try this game out then?
I think you'll feel the same way. Just give it a go. No, well, I don't know. I don't know if you like it or not. I think if you could play it on the Vita, then maybe. I don't know if that's possible, but yeah, it's just a little mobile game, but it's just a very good one. So there we are.
Nice.
Give it a try. It's like a 200 meg download or some shit, and it's free. So why not?
Waste some time.
Absolutely. That's how it's done. It's important. So the only other two things I've played without you are I've been taking advantage of something that EA announced in their press conference, which was that EA Access is free this week for everyone on Xbox One. Obviously, we don't have EA Access because we're on PlayStation, the Paupers console, so we don't get that fun. But what they did do was make available all their free trials on the PlayStation Store, including FIFA 17 and Madden 17. So I quickly downloaded both of those games, and I've been trying them out, giving them a little go, buddy. So yeah.
So how is FIFA 17, buddy? What have you been up to in there?
I've stuck with, obviously I'm pretty familiar with FIFA. I played the FIFA 17 demo last summer, and came to the conclusion that I thought PES had better gameplay, whilst FIFA had better everything else. And I stick by that. I've now played FIFA for a couple of hours, and it just, the game just doesn't play as nicely as PES. PES is just a better football game. But FIFA is better in every other way conceivably possible. And one of those ways is the Journey, which was their big new mode when they announced FIFA 17 back last summer. And it's basically the story of a kid coming up through the youth team and becoming a superstar. You play as this kid, Alex Hunter, who is played by a real-life actor, and you start off as, well, the first scene you're... It's really nicely put together, nicely acted, good scenes, good lines, quite funny in places. The engine doesn't really suit sort of facial animation stuff, so it's a bit ropey in that respect, but the actual concept is great. And you start off and you're like an 11-year-old playing in the park. Your granddad, it turns out, was like a really successful player. Your dad probably would have been, but then he got injured, and he's clearly like a bit of a jaded motherfucker because of it. And your first action in the journey is to take control of 11-year-old Alex Hunter from the penalty spot to win a game at youth level. And you can miss it or you can score, and it will affect various different things. You go through the game, you can, the next thing you do is go to the exit trials, which is basically in football's academies, when they release players, they'll give them a sort of last chance with these exit trials and keep hold of the sort of cream of the crop. So you go through that as well, and it all just feels quite authentic and nicely put together. The more I played through it, and the trial allows you to go through till sort of October time, the more I came to the conclusion that the whole thing was very scripted, and it doesn't necessarily matter what you do.
Okay. So it's not like a true RPG.
No, it isn't. and it should be, and hopefully the next one will have a little bit more to it, but I got the impression that it didn't really matter how I was performing, the story was going to move the same way anyway, which is...
Do you think he could get over cucumbered if it was a true RPG?
If it was a true RPG, he's just carrying too much football paraphernalia, buddy, and
too many boots.
He can no longer jump for headers.
Beats headphones.
Yeah, it can happen.
Other things.
Yeah. No, so I was doing pretty well, I thought. I'd made 5 substitute appearances in the Premier League, scoring 3 goals and assisting 3 goals. And was then told I was being sent out on loan because the gaffer didn't feel I was ready yet. And I was sort of thinking, I'm outscoring our main striker. Seriously, I'm outscoring Alexis Sanchez, so I'm not quite sure why I'm being sent out to fucking Norwich. But that was where the demo kind of ended, and I did kind of yearn for more. I would like to play more, not for, obviously, in making these trials freely available on the store, they've also chucked all the prices back up to full price. So I'm not willing to pay $54.99 to play on more of the journey.
So has that ended now, the access to that?
I don't know. I don't know if it has or not, but the trial bars you from continuing on through the journey, despite the fact that you can continue to play the game, start a new career or whatever. Obviously it's a mode that they hold quite, I remember that highly important.
Champ Manager once, like, it allowed you to get to like January, and it was like, go and buy the game, you fucker. It's like, bastard.
Yeah, well, no, fair enough. Maybe. So yeah, all in all, I think it's good. I think it's a good mode. I'd be interested to see where they take it in the second game, and it really made me want to play it. It made me want to buy the game because it's unique and something that PES, can't really hold a candle to. I quite like the fact as well that at any point you can take your Alex Hunter into sort of Ultimate Team.
Really?
Be a pro mode, which is quite nice because all the way through your training, you're picking different training exercises to build your attributes in certain ways. So if you want to be nippy and good in the air, then you can focus on those in your training sessions between games and stuff. So
yeah, man, it just reminds me of like one of the was it NCAA, is it, and Madden back in like must have been on like, I think it was like original Xbox, it must have been, where like I created my character in NCAA. Is it NCAA? That's
NCAA's
what's the oh man,
basketball, isn't it? NCAA.
Yeah, it is. That's annoying me. Anyway, the college football anyway. And then you progress him through that, and then your save carries over to Madden. It was amazing. It was so good.
NCAA football, yeah.
Is it NCAA football, yeah?
NCAA, maybe that's... it's the national...
Yeah,
it's the Collegiate Athletic Association, so it covers all sports.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Gotcha.
Right.
Sorry, we're not from the States. We try our best with this.
But fucking nailed it though, buddy.
You got there.
Yeah, mate, nailed it. So like having that in like FIFA, that would be so good. Like going for like adding that extra element, to your career, I guess.
Absolutely. I really liked it. If the trial's still on, I highly recommend you give it a go because I found it pretty immersive, and some of the scripting stuff, like you can choose answers to questions. There's a few times you're interviewed and that sort of thing, and you basically can choose between like playing it cool, being sort of fiery tempered, or being balanced, and that affects
be a massive cunt.
That affects your like Twitter fan base and what the manager thinks of you and stuff. So
fuck those guys.
They've really thought it through, and it makes me very interested in the journey too, which we'll get onto a little bit later on. But
with The Rock,
not Journey to the Mysterious Island, no, not that fucking thing. So yeah. Anyway, that's FIFA, and very briefly Madden, because I only played it for a little while. It's hard. It's a hard game to get into.
You remember there was that weekend it was free. I played it like a while ago whenever it was, and I was just like, wow, I can't remember how to play Madden at all, or it's changed so much compared to when I used to play it. I don't know.
It is. I mean, it's tailored to it. I don't know. It was fairly intuitive. The tutorials were decent as well. I can't really grumble in that respect. But it's just a little heavy and stop-start. And I know the sport is,
that's the sport,
it's an accurate representation of it. But if you don't know if you don't understand the context and the difference and the importance of the different plays, then it very quickly becomes quite boring, dull, frustrating to be scrolling through them. If you don't really understand the tactics of this game, then you can't get the most out of it, and that's the big problem. In terms of the way that the game performs and looks, I think it looks dated. I think it looks a little shit, if I'm honest. I was particularly unimpressed graphically by this game. In terms of the controls, it feels nice. I went on a few runs and some jinks and some jukes, and that was cool. And it certainly feels responsive. But it's just the whole thing just felt a little tired to me, which is ludicrous because I haven't played a Madden game probably since the original Xbox. So not the best, if I'm honest, and certainly didn't give me any reason to persevere with it, especially seeing as it was going to be locked like 3 days later anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah.
If there was I think if I was going to go for an American football game, it would have to be an arcadey one. Sort of like the big Streets. So, no, NFL Street was the perfect example. That was a really good mixture of arcade and still had the sort of simulation aspect of it with the plays and the way that the teams defended and the offense and so on. So yeah, not for me, Madden. But hey, I'm getting into hockey. Like I'm doing all right. So fair enough. So yeah, that's me, buddy. Fucking hope I didn't drag on there too much. But anyway, things that we played together. Let's briefly mention Ghost Recon Wild Pants, which we played for the second or third co-op game night running.
Third time now. I'm kind of enjoying myself with this game now,
I am.
Which is so weird.
Yeah.
It's so shit.
I know.
Like we got to a point where we were like near the edge of the map. We were in a helicopter at the time, and we looked on the horizon, and it just looked like 8-bit graphics.
Oh,
it was fucking terrible.
Remind me to upload that to the community, because that was shocking.
Because it just, I couldn't believe how bad it looked.
That's not an image that should appear on a console of this generation.
Like what? The craziest thing was, like, if you think when I think we spoke about Trackmania when we played that like a month or so ago, and how I went off on like a marauding, like just drove off track and just kept going and going. At no point did I see anything of the sort that I saw on Wildlands. It was just terrible.
Yeah, not the best. Not the best.
But I'm really enjoying we're getting into like the stealth mechanics of it now, and so say we've got to extract some. We had a mission the other day, yesterday even, where we had to extract one of like these prisoners, and we were like, oh shit, there's loads of people here. But because we stealthed it, we only had to take out like 4-5 people,
and that was really satisfying, wasn't it?
It really was. It was really good. And I was like, shit, when this game works, it works really well. We seem to have, like, roles as well. Like, you're the infiltrator, and then we've got, like, some people doing Overwatch and stuff like that. You know, it's kind of, like, settled into, like, quite a good co-op game now. Obviously, it's still got so many flaws to it, but we've spoken about that countless times. So I don't know. We don't really need to go over how bad
and we won't. We won't. It's just it is what it is. This game, and I think we've struck the right balance. The fact that we're playing it with good people that we really enjoy playing games with takes the edge off of the deficiencies, and it's got a lot going for it. There's a lot that you can do. And as we're kind of mastering, as you say, the stealth elements especially, we're just wringing the fucking joy out of the thing. I think Funk mentions it again later, but just really enjoying it, and that's cool, because why not? Like we don't want it to be shit. We don't want to hate it. We we want to enjoy ourselves.
Indeed.
So
yeah, totally.
So there you go. Wild Pants makes another return.
And probably will do next week as well, buddy. Maybe even Friday night. Who knows?
The moment that it appears on a proper Friday night game night, that's when you know that, like, things have changed. Because that didn't look possible after the sort of second week of its release that would ever happen.
What I'm enjoying the most is that the actual progression that we're slowly churning through this map, and it makes me kind of want to come back and be like, oh, I've only got a couple of missions to do in that area, and then it's gone.
Agreed.
It's like a fucking checklist. I just want to clear the checklist, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's very true. We'll definitely go back to this again, and fucking hell. Who knew? There you go. Still wouldn't recommend it. Wouldn't recommend this game at all, but not for anything more than 20 quid. But as we say, good if you've got good friends to play with, then you're away, I suppose. So finally this week that we've been playing, my swift purchase, no nonsense, no messing, popped on the store, fucking bought that thing within 30 seconds of you being like, yeah, go on then. And then I was, you sort of half hour later, I was like, oh, I've bought it, mate, sorry. And you're like, oh, could you send it to my, oh no, you've done that. I sent it to your console. And there it was. So,
in its glorious 60 frames per second, buddy.
The Wipeout Omega Collection is a special thing. And I've always been fucking awful at Wipeout games. And I've been putting the time in to this one. And I am having a great time. I'm loving it. I think I'm halfway through the 2048 campaign.
Oh, nice. I went more for the HD. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I've played a lot more of that one than the 20, whatever it is. 48.
Well, it probably makes sense because the HD one was the full PS3 release. The 2048 was the Vita release. So you'd expect there to be more meat to the HD one, really, especially seeing as it had that add-on as well. So I will get to that. I seem to have started with the starter, I suppose. But I think I prefer the art style of 2048, if I'm honest. But the thing that's most amazing about this is if you didn't have any knowledge of Wipeout, if you hadn't heard of it, you'd have no idea that this is like a remake stroke remaster.
I know,
you wouldn't have a clue.
How good does this look?
It looks gorgeous, this game, and it's silky smooth. And the performance is excellent. The control's fantastic. I have to give a shout out to you, by the way, because when we first loaded this game up, it had, of course, the Wipeout controls. They're maybe something of an institution to people who've played Wipeout games in the past. And Ash very quickly said, "What the fuck is this?" And he changed his controls to those of a racing game. And I did the same. And since then, I've been enjoying it like 10 times more.
Who wants to hold X to go forward?
You don't. We've got triggers for that. And it works much better for them. So I have to say, if you do buy this game, then change the fucking controls. Put trigger on right on accelerate. Put left trigger on brake. Chuck X on shoot or whatever. You know, you can have the bumpers on your sharp turns. It feels great actually.
Yeah,
and it works. Really
it works
made fantastically well.
As soon as I did that. Really.
Yeah. It's This is an awesome game. It's a great package. There's loads of content, and we found ourselves dipping into it playing online, as in with strangers online in a lobby, didn't we? And that went really well too. It was really fun.
Gibbons, buddy. Yeah, it was strange actually. Like, I'm not one for mixing with other people. I don't like it.
Fuck those guys.
Them. But this is an arcade racer. It's like a Mario Kart in a way, and like that is way better with more people because like you got power-ups and all sorts of things, and anything could happen, buddy, I would say. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed my time like playing with other people. It was it was cool. Because another thing is, obviously, like, when we want to do, like, a multiplayer, if there's just the two of us racing, if one of us fucks up, then it's like, all right, see you later. That's the race done.
And worth noting, there's no option to put AIs into this game.
No, yeah, which is a shame, because like, we would just chuck some AI in there. But I must say, sometimes that AI is just a bit too good.
They're very, very on a track, aren't they?
Quite precise with their turning.
Yeah, very much so.
Not gonna lie, they don't hit the sides much.
They certainly don't.
I definitely do.
I'm really getting there now with the tight control and stuff. I've discovered like you can take most hairpins with the bumpers, and then if you got a real sharp one, you just dip off the accelerator for a second.
Yeah, this is what I asked you the other day. I was like, "Oh, do you ever take your finger off the accelerator?" Because I was like, I've been thinking about the idea of doing it.
And I said no because I wasn't very good at the time, and the answer is a very definitive shout from the fucking rooftops. Yes, at this point, buddy.
For certain times, you need to slow down.
You do. It just feels really satisfying. I've always loved it as a concept, Wipeout, and as I said, I've always been shit at it. But no, really getting the hang of this, and fun online. Great content. Just a great purchase. Really enjoying it, and be nice if the rest of our lot got it, buddy, because we could play it on game nights then as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think like first time it goes into sale, we should definitely hint at people picking this up.
Pile on the peer pressure, definitely.
Yeah, be like, get this fucking game.
Fucking do it. Wanks. Go on. Yeah. There you go then. Sweet. Nice. Okay. Good selection this week, and if you like games, buddies, then you're in for a treat, because we're going to talk about E3 now, and that'll just be more video games.
This week's topic.
This week's, I did actually mean to say to you, but it looks like you just guessed correctly.
Okay.
Or you're clairvoyant, perhaps? I don't know how it works, but the topic for this week's podcast is actually video games. So,
nice.
Quids in and on topic at this point, buddies.
Helpful.
Good stuff. Fucking, there we go.
Welcome to EA Play 2017, coming to you from the Hollywood Palladium. This is our second year at EA Play. Last year we went out on a limb, tried to do something a little different with a view to changing the way you interact with products before they launch. We wanted to do something that put the games in your hands earlier, and it showed us how much further we can go.
Good evening and welcome to the 2017 Bethesda E3 Showcase. And and welcome to Bethesda Land. We will offer you an experience at E3 unlike anything else, and a chance to celebrate some of the world's best video games.
Hello everyone, and thank you. We've always wondered what could happen if our crazy rabbits were unleashed upon the world of Mario. Today, the dream is reality.
Good afternoon to those of you with us here in person, watching on this incredible 4K screen, to the millions watching us around the world or TV or online, and to those of you watching and interacting on Mixer. On behalf of everyone on Team Xbox, welcome to E3 2017.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, fans and friends. This is your 2017 PlayStation Showcase. Thank you for coming tonight. We're glad to be here. We're delighted to be here. We have a full show ahead of us, so let's just agree that we love games and we want to see more of them tonight. It's all about the games.
It's all about the games. It's all about the games.
So let's head into some E3 discussion, buddy. Last week we had pre-3 shit. So I suppose this is this post-3 shit?
Yeah, it's after the E3. Where this is like the wipe up. You know, you got to mop it all up.
Yeah, it's important.
Fun.
Yeah.
Job done.
Crucially important. And obviously there was a lot announced. Far too much for us to go through. In terms of everything, you know, previews, show floor, and so on and so forth. So what we've kind of got together is the conferences in order, and the things that we thought were the most interesting, which essentially means I've removed the 5 or 6 things from each conference that no one could give a flying fuck about. And yeah, we're just going to fly through, I think, buddy, and I suppose have a little talk at the end about how we felt the conference went, and maybe at the very end we'll talk about who we thought perhaps won it, if there can be a winner of such a thing.
Winner! Chicken dinner, buddy.
Yep.
Indeed.
Tasty chicken dinner, buddy.
Oh, I love me some chicken dinner. So, I'm just getting ready for... Because there's going to be a lot to talk about.
There
I'm
is.
Guessing, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Where do you want to start? Are we going to go in order of what we've written down?
I think this was the order of the conferences, wasn't it?
It was. I used last week's podcast notes and was just like, yep, that'll do. We'll do that.
Fucking sensible work, buddy. That's why you're where you are and I'm where I am. So I suppose, EA. We'll start with EA. This was on the Saturday evening. And it was an unpopular request from me at the barbecue I was at to watch the EA E3 press conference. So I had to catch up on it when I got home. But I'm fully clued in now. And so, let's just head down the list of things that we saw. Starting with Star Wars Battlefront 2, not that one. And they showed this quite extensively. There was an event after the conference where they had 20-on-20 matches running, live streamed, bit of commentary and so on. All the sort of corny, cheesy bullshit that you expect from EA. What did you think of what you saw of Star Wars Battlefront? And I just want to say, I'm not so sure.
I don't know. So this was at the end of the conference, and I was like, cool, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some Star Wars Battlefront 2, you know, that game that's been out for fucking ages. That joke will never stop.
Nope.
Ever stop.
Nope.
And, as soon as they loaded it up, like, someone zoomed in, like, on a sniper, and I was just like, that just looks like a Battlefield game. And I was like...
this is the problem.
I know the previous one kind of did, but it had a twist, didn't it? It was like an arcade version, like an arcadey version of Battlefield, and I enjoyed that. It was good. But this looked very much like Battlefield in Star Wars land, and I'm not sure if I'm too on board with it, because after I watched that, because they played for what, like 25 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it was a good chunk of gameplay there.
Game, and by the end of it, I wasn't too sure on it, to be honest. Like, I wasn't like, shit, I need to go out and buy this game, because I was like, well, if I want to play a shooter, I'll just play Battlefield 1, because that's really good. I know it's got all single player stuff on it, but I don't think that's gonna really pull me back in, unless it's like, I don't know, maybe like a 15-hour long thing,
and all signs point to about a 7-hour campaign.
Yeah, it's not. It's going to be a minimal thing. Like the main thing about this game is the multiplayer. There was Darth Maul. He looked really overpowered.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I just wasn't sold on it. It seemed. Like it had the map that they played. I can't remember which one it was.
It was on. I think it was. Yeah, it was on Naboo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The city there, and I completely agree with what you're saying, and for the very same reasons, because it looked like a Battlefield game, and it just looked like they've eroded away some of the quirkiness and the identity that the original reboot had. Star Wars Battlefront, it felt very different to Battlefield. It just did. Whether that's because it came out before Battlefield 1, when we were still in sort of modern tactical warfare sort of stuff, I don't know. But yeah, I'm totally with you, man. And using the city level as they did for the reveal, that just pushed that even more. Like if you blinked or looked at it slightly funny, then you might as well have been watching Battlefield 4. Like it's as simple as that. And that's not really what it's about for me. Like, this is supposed to be a Star Wars game before a shooter. Like the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
That's the important thing about the Star Wars games, is Star Wars, not the mechanics of the shooter and the squads and so on and so forth. I know that sounds stupid, but it's the love of the franchise that is the selling point. And this just looked more generic than I had hoped. So, yeah, I agree with you, buddy. Obviously, too early to tell. And no doubt, like, I think we can both agree it's probably going to be a really good game, like a really competent game. Because as we suspected, it looks like they've learnt a lot of lessons in terms of the flaky shit that was problematic on the first Battlefront. But
on the whole, buddy, Preparation H feels good. Feels good. Yeah.
I just wonder if it's lost a bit of its sort of sparkle from becoming a little bit more sensible, becoming a better game. But
possibly,
time will tell. We shall see.
Right.
We move on to Anthem, which is the new IP from BioWare. It's a sci-fi action RPG. And it looks the business, frankly. It looks like what Mass Effect should probably have been.
Yeah, just a bit. This was shown a bit more in the Microsoft press conference.
It was, and worth noting,
the gameplay reveal was
worth noting that I've kind of removed duplicates here. So if something got coverage in multiple conferences, we won't talk about it, even if it was a big part of a secondary conference as well. So this is where we're talking about Anthem, and yeah, like it just looks cool. 4-player stuff. Interesting co-op elements, jetpacks, jungles. Look like Avatar. Space Avatar, like, shooter.
Like, that first bit where he's walking through that, like, market or whatever, I was just like, that can't be a game. That has to be a cutscene. I just didn't know.
Look lovely. It really looks
so good.
It looks really, really nice.
Very, very excited about this game. Unfortunately, it made me really sad at the end when it was like coming 2018. I'm like, oh, you cunts.
Yeah, it's a good year away.
Yeah,
obviously it'll. BioWare not known for sort of churning things out at great speed, but
no, which is a shame.
They've obviously been working on it for a while. I have to say, this doesn't happen very often anymore with video games, but Anthem, that's a great name, if you ask me. That's a great name for a video game.
Any song named Anthem.
Yeah.
It's a fucking tune.
So yeah, that looks like a winner, and frankly, that was the thing I thought was most exciting from this whole EA conference.
From EA, yeah.
Yep.
Totally. I don't know. Actually, this next one looked very also interesting as well. But yeah Anthem. Yeah, it looks massive. Awesome.
So the next thing was a Way Out in the EA conference, and this is a co-op game. It looks like a sort of prison escape co-op game. Kind of interesting. The art style reminded me of that sort of Interstate 76 kind of thing. Obviously, it looks a lot better than that, but I read some previews of this game, buddy, and I think it was on Polygon. They said it's like a David Cage game, but good, which was pretty damning. But yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? This one.
It looks really good. I think this is a game that me and you are going to buy and we're going to play and be like, holy crap, this is awesome. Because the whole thing is you have both screens, both players' perspective on the screen at the same time. This is from the people that made, was it A Tale of Two Brothers or something? Which is that mental game where one stick controls one brother and the other stick controls the other. So it's like trying to move both of them. But yeah, I mean, it really hurt my brain. But it was a great game, and from the looks of it, this just looks like a solid, cracking co-op game that I'm very excited about.
Absolutely, yeah, right up our alley. We always kind of gravitate towards these co-op experiences anyway, and this one looks to be something of a winner. So
Gibbons, buddy.
We'll certainly keep an eye on that one.
So the rest of EA's conference we can skip, I think, now.
We'll go through it very, very quickly. Need for Speed Payback looks like Need for Speed Rivals. That's the notes that I made when I was watching it. The gameplay footage they showed of a car going down the freeway through the sort of desert, it just looked like Rivals. Now, it probably looks way better than Rivals, because Rivals is, what, like 4 years old? But it just looked like Rivals to me, and there is nothing here that is convincing me that Ghost Games are the right developer for the Need for Speed franchise. The excitement and slickness and joy that came with sort of Underground, and even before that, like Hot Pursuit and those older games, like they just keep proving to me that they don't really get what it's all about. And this seems to be no exception. I'm not impressed in the slightest. And I think graphically as well, I think it doesn't look as good as their last game, which was also a terrible game.
And yeah, it's just fucking Need for Speed in it, mate. That series has gone downhill continuously. So I don't know. Like, it'd be interesting to play like a demo of it and see. Like, the main thing I want to see is like what the handling's like.
Yeah, because that's been terrible across the last 2 or 3 games.
Exactly. It's been very worrying and just woeful. So yeah.
No wheel support last time round either.
Yeah, I'm not too fussed about it.
Yeah.
No.
I think I'd struggle to pay for a car racing game that doesn't have wheel support now, if I'm honest, because I want to make the most of my wheel. So, but yeah,
Gibbons.
I don't think that it's really going to be a conversation we'll have to have. So I wouldn't worry. Following on from that, we had Battlefield 1 DLC, which is fine. You know, we're not really out to invest in all the premium content, I don't think, anymore.
Yeah.
It's not really our bag. Don't play it enough, but it all looked very nice, so cool. There's that. And then they rounded things off with their sports, as they so often do, buddy. We had Madden 18, we had FIFA 18, we had NBA Live 18, and there's no point in us talking about any of them. You know what they are. They're slightly updated versions of last year's games. FIFA looks very, very similar indeed. Madden looks a little bit nicer. Maybe I'm just saying that because I was unimpressed with last year's.
Possibly.
And NBA Live has been a bit of a joke franchise for some time. I mean, I know when the PS4 launched, that game was it NBA Live 14 was absolutely destroyed in the reviews.
All of them were terrible. When they always are the first sports games to come out. Like they are always just stripped down of everything and just fucking ball bags.
Yeah.
The only good thing, I guess, about like these like iterations and whatever upgrades of consoles is, I guess we won't get that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not.
Well, it would be limited because obviously, say for the Xbox One and the Xbox One X, you know, they're like the game on the Xbox One X has to play on the Xbox One, so they could just do the same but up-res it, kind of thing.
That's true. Yeah. Well, either way, that was the conference, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's EA, buddy. It's sports and shooting, and then Anthem. The thing is, but I don't understand why BioWare and EA. I don't see how they fit together. It's weird.
Yeah. Agreed.
So what's after EA, buddy?
Next conference we moved on to was Microsoft. This was on Sunday at 10 p.m. British sexy time.
42 games. Fucking drilling it home right at the start there.
It's true, but the most disappointing thing was that Phil motherfucking Spencer came out, buddy, and he wasn't in a Fusion Frenzy t-shirt.
I was very upset. He had some kind of Player One t-shirt.
Yeah.
Nah, mate.
Yeah, a little bit passé.
But they did fucking say that you can now play Fusion Frenzy on your Xbox One with their original Xbox backwards compatibility. Maybe not Fusion Frenzy, I don't know. Those games, certain games can be played on that, which, you know, is another step forward for them. So if I still had any of my original Xbox games, then yeah, that would be cool. But no, I don't. I got rid of them.
I guess that
a long time ago.
Do you think that was hard for them to do, or do you think they were just like, fucking, this is easy, so we're just going to do it?
I have no idea, mate. They hold all the answers.
Is it? I like it. Obviously, I like it.
I mean, I think it's great because it just means that any of those really old games, you can just fucking play them. If you want to play them, you can play them. You know, having that option is definitely better than not having that option.
I think
it's that simple.
Yeah, and you know what that does mean, buddy?
What?
It means that you could go out and buy Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Right now?
Yeah.
And play it on my Xbox One?
You can play on your Xbox One.
Do some fucking streaming. Battlefront 2 Xbox One.
Exclusive.
Gameplay. Yeah.
Nice. Exclusive, never seen before.
Crazy.
That
sounds well.
Yeah, because you can stream games from no one would have streamed Battlefront 2 back in 2002. So
no, exactly, mate.
Exclusive. Yeah.
Exclusive.
Well,
exclusive.
I don't know what else I'd play from back then. Probably NFL Street, FIFA Street,
Need for Speed Underground.
Oh yeah, no, that was a good game. That was a good game.
Juiced. That was a bad game.
Juiced wasn't the best. Fusion Frenzy, of course, but yeah, no, I think it's nice. It's pretty inconsequential, but it's nice. So. Just point scoring again, I suppose, from the Microsoft boys. Good stuff from Phil. So the first big game that we saw in the conference itself was Metro Exodus. And it looks awesome, frankly, and also makes me want to play the other ones. I just don't know if I've got the balls. I'm not sure I've got the chops to play those games, but... They've been very cheap in the past, and it just feels like it's maybe a universe I'd quite like to get into. They're supposed to be very good sort of psychological shooters with monsters and darkness. Would we play them, or are we too big a pussy to...
I'm clearly too much of a pussy to play them, because I'm trying to think. I think I've got the original one. I haven't got Redux, which was the second one, wasn't it? 2033 is it? The first one, isn't it? I've got that on Steam. Played like half an hour, and I was like, no. Maybe it's because I was in a stage where I wasn't enjoying first-person shooter story campaign kind of things. But yeah, no.
I think keep an eye on those when they come down, because if I think those games have been like £6-7 before.
Yeah, they've been really cheap on the store a few times, and I've thought about it, but just I don't know. If anything, I should really just play it on my PC and see if I enjoy it. Really,
yeah.
I think I got it in like a humble bundle.
Yeah, no.
Get cheaper than that.
Well, I think this looks really impressive, and you can say that about a lot of what we're talking about here, because a lot of this stuff was 4K. It was whether it was running on the console. We haven't actually named the console, have we? They came out and said it was the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
I can understand why they've done that. They want to keep it as a family of consoles, with the S as the budget one and the X as the premium one. But at the same time, I just think it sounds terrible, Xbox One X.
Yeah, and then next year they're going to bring out the Xbox One XS, buddy.
Yeah.
Extra small.
Yeah, the XS.
Extra powerful.
Yep.
Then they're going to bring out the Xbox One in excess.
Is the next one going to be the Xbox 2? Like, I don't know. They fucked it. Don Matrick fucked it all those years ago when he came out on stage with his cheesy grin and talked about the Xbox One, and people were
it was a bad idea. I mean, Xbox 360 because it goes all the way around or something like that. That was it. And Xbox One. You know, that's 359 less Xbox.
Yep.
Than
it's far less Xbox.
I know.
Whichever way you look at it. But yeah. These games were looking great. And talking of games that looked great, Forza Motorsport 7 looked unbelievably gorgeous. Again, it's a Forza game. But at the same time, I would quite like a Forza game on the PlayStation, because there isn't really a sort of sim racing game on the PlayStation where you can paint your cars, upgrade your cars, and so on and so forth. So Forza's got a lot to offer still. There's evidently fatigue on the Xbox from Xbox gamers, but people who've jumped ship like us, I do kind of miss that franchise. And when you see it looking that gorgeous, it's tough. It's tough. So looks fantastic, Forza 7. And it sort of kept coming, didn't it? PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. This was another big announcement. We knew this would have to come to consoles.
We knew this was going to come out, because like he's already the developer already came out and said, yes, I'm definitely interested in trying to port my game to consoles, but obviously because it's still in Steam Greenlight or whatever that's called now, I don't know. So, you know, consoles aren't, especially Sony, aren't too happy with having those type of things, even though they have fucking free-to-play like games in beta and shit on there all the time. So
exactly.
Fucking make your mind up.
Exactly. Like, talk about fucking random, like, no consistency whatsoever, but there we go.
Terrible. But yeah, great news that it's coming out to consoles. And yeah, have you already said that it's coming to Xbox One first, didn't you?
Yeah, so there were a lot of these announcements where they said sort of console release exclusive or first on Xbox One or whatever. So these are, you know, timed exclusive deals, I guess. And it's funny because people say Sony have all the the deals with publishers and games and stuff. Like, they've got the Destiny deal and the Call of Duty deal and stuff. But this seemed to be like exclusivity deals on several different games during this conference, which suggests that Microsoft do exactly the same thing, just in a slightly different way. They'd rather have the game out first rather than, you know, a specific strike on Destiny or whatever. But either way, that game's coming out to consoles, and that's fucking great. It's just whether it misses the hype train. It depends when it comes and whether...
I was thinking about this, and I don't care. When it comes out, I'm still going to buy it, and it's going to be loads of fun.
It probably will. I think certainly. I think Funk and PJ will find that this is absolutely up their fucking alley. I think Funk will lap this game up. He's already said, like, hearing about the concept and everything, he's very interested. So
yeah, man.
Yeah,
totally.
It's cool that it's coming, and it was
very cool.
It was strong that they had it in their show. Less impressive, if you ask me, Assassin's Creed Origins, which. We could say for the Ubisoft show, but we'll talk about it here, I think, because
we'll just talk about how bad it looked and how unimpressive it was.
I think that's the thing. That's the thing. They've Need for Speeded it. Well, they mentioned
they took a year off and then came
that's
out
the
with
thing
like,
that I was going to say. Like Jeff Keighley was
back.
talking about that in his interviews, and everyone kept saying, like, you've taken a year off, and the dev and the team and the people who were talking about the game, they were saying, we haven't just taken a year off, like, they've basically been working on it since Black Flag. So
really?
They took that team off of Assassin's Creed after Black Flag. to work explicitly on this game that was going to be like a 3-year cycle, and that, you know, Syndicate came out. One of the reasons it was such a buggy mess was because that original team with all its expertise and experience wasn't working on that game. And then they announced this and they show gameplay footage, and mate, it looks shit. Like, graphically, it looks terrible. Now, there's loads of mechanics that look cool. And you were watching
this in 4K, weren't you?
I was watching this 4K 60 on my MacBook, and I have to say, Ubisoft are going to have to get their acts together. Because they release games and people say that they look quite pretty or whatever, and they come out and they look decidedly ropey. If you're running native 4K, you best get your house in order with regard to textures. And this game looks broken. It looks like when you set the graphics settings high and your PC shits itself and doesn't like texture certain aspects properly or whatever. I just think it looks ugly. It's just an ugly looking game, and having it in Egypt, lots of open spaces and stuff, that doesn't help them in the slightest. And it's a shame because I think mechanically they've worked hard here. It looks like the combat system's been completely overhauled fucking finally, and that can only be a good thing. The stealth elements have been improved, and I'm a stealth game fan. I know you are as well. You can finally pick up fucking bodies and stow them and shit like Hitman style. So there's loads of positives, but fuck, the game looks shit. It just looks like assholes. I just
want to know what's up with that eagle bird.
Bird. Yeah.
Just use it as a drone. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah, not the best. Not
a fan of that. I mean, I understand it in Wildlands because it's a drone.
And you're going to get your mate, he's going to control your little eagle on his mobile device from the train, buddy, on his way home, and just...
yeah? Oh, no. Wow, that'd be cool.
Fucking hell.
He can bring in his co-op eagle.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That never came about, did it? That's such a shame.
It's a good Ubisoft announcement, mate. So,
he's on his tablet. He's flying a drone.
Okay, I'm getting off the train, you guys. I'll see you later. Okay, cheers. Bye. Fuck him.
That guy's a douche.
Fuck that
guy. That's what real life would be. It'd be like, oh, I hate that guy.
All right, shit face. Welcome.
Yeah, he's here.
There he is. Not the best. Well, anyway, mixed feelings. Looks like they've made the required gameplay improvements and fucked the engine at the same time. So there we go. Moving on, State of Decay 2. Proper co-op this time. Looks janky, which State of Decay looked janky as well.
my one word comment on that was jank.
it's got some jank about it.
Jank. Like, the animations were they just looked bad.
Yeah,
I was just like, it's like, where's the fluidity here? You know, where's the movement?
And when those first mods and stuff came out, and you know, like what H said, bloody.
Yeah, Daisy and
the jank was real. H1Z Zebra. D-bag Zebra.
I'll buy that game.
Douchebag the Zebra. I'll play it. Yeah, it's like Echo the Dolphin. Douchebag the Zebra. No, when that genre was born by the sort of mod scene, the jank was understandable. It was dudes in their rooms and stuff.
Jank was about.
State of Decay doesn't have that excuse. Like, it shouldn't look as janky and shit as it does, but it does.
No.
Again, could be fun co-op, but there's just problems with that engine, and makes you worry about frame rates and stuff, especially when Microsoft are pushing a fucking 4K console. It's like, now's not the time to have a game that looks a bit toilet. It's not really there.
Exactly.
And moving on to things I don't really have any interest in.
What the fuck was this?
The Darwin Project is a multiplayer survival. I've written MOBA because it looks like a 5v5 Overwatchy sort of thing.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing about this reveal was old Beardo on the commentary, buddy. Just some dude.
Not me.
Was he a somebody?
I don't know. Maybe it was some sort of shoutcaster or something.
Okay.
Who knows?
Well, it was very embarrassing, whatever happened.
It was odd as fuck.
We won't dwell on it. We'll move on instantly. Minecraft 4K. obviously.
Yay, and also cross-play as
and
well.
cross-play, but not with PlayStation.
Everything. No, and do you know why, buddy? Because Sony want to protect their users. Because, if they open up to playing on different, with other people, they can't control it.
Yeah.
Anyone could be there.
Yeah, because they've got such a tight fucking governance on the PlayStation network.
I know, right? I was like, that's such a bullshit excuse.
Absolute nonsense.
Massive
they just
and,
don't want to share, and they want to be wary of the fact that Microsoft own fucking Minecraft, and they don't have to keep supporting it on PlayStation.
Exactly. Yeah,
so.
And was it Rocket League devs came out, I think it was today or yesterday, and were like, this is something we tried to do in the past, and we're still ready to do it. We've got it ready.
Yep.
We're just waiting for Sony.
And that's going to go cross-play on Switch and Xbox One in the process, same as Minecraft. So,
yeah,
I don't know what they're playing out there.
Oh, spoiler for later.
Yep. Can happen. Black Desert.
Tom?
Yep, he likes that.
He can now play that on his Xbox One.
There you go. But he won't, because he said it on PC for ages.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if you can bring a character over. That'd be good.
That would be good. Yeah. They didn't
integration.
It looked nice though.
Yeah, it looks really nice actually. Like I'm guessing it's running at 4K on the X-Bonks. I'm going to call it the X.
Yeah.
Box One X, the X-Bonks. Like you're bonking.
Bonking, yeah.
Multiple bonk. So you're bonks.
Yeah.
No, not going for it.
Xbox X. Box X box. Just get into a bit of a trance, saying it over and over again forever.
Yeah. Maybe that was the idea.
I didn't cover all of them because a lot of them I find incredibly boring. But I have to say the scope is there with the Xbox One X's extra power. The scope is there for the MMOs to come over and actually fucking work properly and look semi-decent as well. And there were quite a few announced, and this was one of them. One of the more popular ones.
Yeah.
Let's move on to The Last Night, buddy, which looks amazing, frankly. Certainly in terms of like smaller games, 2D games, indie games, this was the star of the show. Amazing sort of 8-bit, 16-bit foreground stuff, but also seemingly mocapped actors. So it looked really, really weird. And then on top of that, you've got a sort of a fully realized 3D or sort of 2.5D background a la Trine. And then that whole concept is set in like a Blade Runner universe with like beautiful sort of colorful graphics and so on.
Yeah.
Just looks fantastic. Highly recommend you get onto YouTube and search The Last Night gameplay reveal or whatever. Did this float your boat like it did mine?
It just looked absolutely amazing. I was just like, it was that kind of like breath of fresh air kind of thing. You were just like, oh wow, like when you saw kind of like Fez or that type of game where you're just like, whoa. Just like with Fez, it was like strength. You can spin the world.
It's the strength of the art style, and a game like this and a game like Fez, another good example, is something that you can port onto all different platforms. This thing can come out on the Switch. Yeah. This thing can come out on it could come out on the 360.
And the thing is, it will still look as good as it does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those things.
That's the strength of a good art style.
Yeah, it's just such a great mashup of. I don't know. I'm just watching it now, mate. Once again, I always go on about the fucking lighting, but that's what makes this
nice.
Game.
Yeah,
you've got rich colors, and then like the gradients are in there, and it just looks gorgeous.
It's the contrast between the textures in the foreground, the textures on the people, seriously. But the fact that they're so fluid because it's clearly been like mocapped properly.
Yeah.
Just looks awesome. Really, really nice. Like
the water. It looks like normal, real water. It looks like fucking water, and then you got this like 8-bit crazy shit going on. Seriously, everyone needs to watch The Last Night. You need to watch it. It's only a minute long. I mean, do it.
Cracking looking game, and very excited for it. Looks really cool. Have to keep an eye on that one.
Do we know if that's coming to PS4 or do we not know?
I think that was another one in the old time
launch exclusive.
Yeah. I'll just confirm that very quickly. Xbox One, PC, and Mac. I reckon that'll run on my Mac.
Yeah, it says The Last Night is set for a 2018 release on Windows, PC, and Xbox One.
It was originally a small flash game made in 6 days, which won the Cyberpunk Jam. So it won a Games Jam. And you can play the original draft for free on their website if you go to oddtales.net.
See you later.
And there you go. So,
and that's this week's podcast, buddy.
Cheers, then. Thanks very much. Right, so moving on. We have Sea of Thieves, which looks better now than it did before. I know Phil Spencer did an interview with Eurogamer where he's trying to explain how he wanted to get the perspective of how it actually feels to play. I think they really sort of fucked that reveal, to be honest, where they had the like YouTubers playing the game and just being over the fucking top about it. This was a far more sort of channeled and focused trailer, and as such it looked pretty interesting. And I still don't really know about it, though. I still don't know if it's something that I would play. I suppose it doesn't matter. It's a Xbox One exclusive, so I won't be playing it. But did it float your boat, so to speak, buddy? This little pirate game?
I don't know. It seemed like there was a lot to do in it.
That's true.
It seemed like it could be quite fun, a bit of co-op pirating, but I don't know. I'm not too sure. It was quite a quirky like trailer as well, which kind of won me over a bit, but also made me slightly annoyed.
Yeah,
it was odd, very strange, but yeah.
They were going for whimsy, I think, and that can be frustrating and annoying sometimes. But certainly looks a little bit more together than the last time we saw it. I think it's fair to say that, at least.
Gibbons.
Things that I am excited about. This is one, Tacoma. It just looks cool. That game was due to come out ages ago, and they got to the stage where they were almost at pre-release, and then decided they weren't happy. They decided it wasn't acceptable what they created. It wasn't true to the vision, and they went back to the drawing board. And what they've come out with now, I just think it looks really, really interesting. And again, a nice art style. There's lots of AI stuff, a la sort of Turing test coming into this now, and it's going to be out in August. It's from Fulbright, and I think they really are an up and comer, to be honest.
Yeah, this is a game that we've looked at, and I've definitely looked at quite a lot and been like, yeah, I kind of want to play this space adventure. It's exciting.
Yeah, I think Gone Home was a really beautifully crafted story. There's talk of Tacoma being VR as well, so yeah, that'll do you. But it just looks cool. Just looks great. I really like what that studio's doing, so I'm excited for that to come out. We move on. Super Lucky's Tale. This is I suppose a cutesy platformer, a la sort of Spyro the Dragon. I mean, Project Yooka-Laylee, of course, came out fairly recently. Didn't review particularly well, and I do wonder if there's actually space for a game like this outside of a Nintendo console. Do you think that? I don't really know. What do you reckon?
I mean, it's been done before, I guess. Like Sony have had similar games, like with Spyro and stuff like that.
Ratchet and Clank and stuff as recently.
Yeah, so they've all got their like little icons and things. So I don't know. It seemed quite odd when I first saw it, but I was like, you know what? Actually, yeah, why not?
If you nail down interesting mechanics, sure, and you get a camera that works properly and so on and so forth, then you can have a bit of magic. And it looks like they've been working really hard on this. It's kind of everything that like Knack wasn't, kind of thing, in terms of your sort of kind of kid-centric platformers with a bit of skill involved. I know I wasn't especially blown away by the trailer, but I have read some previews since, and it sounds like people are really digging it on the show floor. So it's another good one, and continuing the theme where I think Microsoft had a bit of a good conference, really. I think they had a bit of a cracker. They had a console release, basically, in terms of, telling people what it was all about, and I think they tried to hide the price behind all the games a little bit, but they basically officially announced a new piece of hardware and managed to keep the entire show about video games. And I think that was quite impressive, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
So, yeah. We'll keep moving. Cuphead, which should have been out ages ago.
Finally got a release date.
Yeah.
Whenever that was. I can't remember off the top of my head. August, September, October, November. This year, anyway.
That's the thing about it, isn't it? We saw it a year ago. And it's finally got its release date's 29th of September on Xbox One and PC.
I probably said that at some point.
It's if you haven't heard of Cuphead, it is a game that basically looks like the early Disney cartoons, or Hanna-Barbera cartoons, the sort of Steamboat Willie bouncing up and down sort of thing, Popeye. It's got bits from all of these games, and it looks very interesting indeed. So that's Cuphead, and that's out soon. Crackdown 3. Terry Crews, always good.
Stepping up here was a bit weird.
It was weird, but it was funny as well. Terry Crews.
You know what also
is always
was
funny.
weird, buddy? The fact that it had completely changed art style.
Yeah.
It's now some kind of cell shaded.
It is. They've
a la Borderlands.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's not a million miles away from the Crackdown art style of the sort of cartooniness. So, but it was a very noticeable shift. It looks very different, and it's you do start to worry about a game like this that was announced such a long time ago, and is going through what is clearly like various rewrites. It's a bit of a worry. But on paper, this still seems like a really cool concept. They showed a little bit of orb collection on the top of buildings and stuff, buddy, and I was like, oh,
love them orbs.
Salad days. There it was. Still cursing my old 360 for putting a literal hole in my Crackdown disc all those years ago. But once this thing comes out, it's going to be big. But you just wonder if it's perhaps in development hell at this point.
I don't know. It was an odd one. It got the release date of November 7th, so like a launch title with the 1X. I'm going to call it the 1X from now on. So same release date as the 1X. So I guess, yeah. Is it going to have launch title games?
I suppose it needs launch title games.
Needs something to come out and be like, this looks fucking shit hot in 4K.
Yeah.
Buy it now. Are they going to be different discs? Are they going to be the same disc?
I suppose it's all still on. I don't know. I really don't know. I wouldn't like to speculate. Big games, though. I'm games, these 4K native games. Big data.
Yeah. It's going to be same disc with a massive day one patch.
Probably.
For a while, until they're like... actually, aren't they like dual Blu-ray players, actually? In both
like dual layer, yeah.
Yeah, so they can get... How much is that? Like 70 gigs? 80?
Certainly
90?
plenty, yeah. But, I mean, we're going to be clearing a ton on some of these games soon, so... it's going to be interesting. They've got the 4K Ultra player in the Xbox One X, so... but as you say, like, these discs have to work on the old Xbox One S as well. So
50 gig.
They've got to work on the S, so...
Well, this has got the dual layer as well.
Well, they've got to work on the original Xbox as well.
Has that not got it then, I guess?
No.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
They can download the patch.
They can do it. So next, Surviving Mars, sci-fi city building game from the Tropico guys. So take note, Funk. Quite a bold move from them. I suppose they've been doing Tropico for a while, so maybe they want to get out of that. But looked interesting, looked quite nice. Still had the sort of vague, hazy jank that the Tropico games have. But interesting art style and interesting ideas. So there was that. Fable Fortune.
Fable, yeah.
Card game. Getting in on the card games.
Yeah, I love card games.
They all look the fucking same.
Numbers and cards.
Ooblets is coming out. Farming and creature collection game. Quirky and cutesy. Trying to get on the whole Stardew Valley stroke Animal Crossing sort of, that sort of thing.
It's Microsoft's take on that. Yeah,
it is. It is.
Nice.
Strange Brigade, tongue-in-cheek co-op third-person shooter from Rebellion, the makers of things like Sniper Elite. Looks quite cool, actually, and we always are interested in co-op anything, so not much information about that yet. They had a little bit of gameplay that I watched, a little bit of stuff with Jeff Keighley and that on YouTube's official fucking E3 thing or whatever, but they certainly know that it's a bit silly, and that's a good sign. So we've got Ashen, which is a sort of sinister horror thing, and at first I thought it was going to be another sort of Outlast in terms of sort of solo survival horror type thing, but actually it's apparently a multiplayer like RPG, so that changes things somewhat. In terms of the reveal, like, you wouldn't have got that from the trailer in the slightest. It was only because I did a bit of research.
Single player kind of story mode kind of thing, didn't it? Like, interesting art style. Did like it. I remember watching like this kind of section of the Microsoft conference, and I might have fallen asleep. I don't know. But like the past like after Crackdown, I kind of just switched off for a while because none of these games were really like jumping out at me. And I know these are like smaller indie games, but I've just seen like an indie game like The Last Night, buddy, and I was like, that got the juices pumping. And these were I don't know, nothing much. Oh, I can't remember the name of it now. But anyway, yeah. But I remember seeing this one. This kind of perked me up a bit with the visual style.
Yeah, it does look nice. It does. And we need to keep an eye on it because, multiplayer. So could be something that we are interested in. Whereas, if it's one of these sort of scary horror kind of single-player affairs, then we tend not to be too bothered, to be honest.
Indeed. That will happen.
So rounding things off on the Microsoft conference, Middle-earth Shadow of War, which is a game that I just can't get excited about. I just don't care about it. I'm not going to pretend that I do.
Good trailer, though.
It was a good trailer.
Like, I thought the characters were pretty cool. I like the idea that it was putting behind it. Like, so you can now recruit these orcs. Are they? I'm guessing they're orcs. Or ogres
as part of your army.
Yeah.
To fight other orcs, and they've got...
So that's obviously the next step on the, what's it called? The Nemesis engine.
Yeah,
or whatever
the Nemesis.
Isn't it?
Yeah, the Nemesis system with its various kind of battles across Mordor, and it looks like they've worked really hard on that. But it's just the world and the art style in the game. I'm just not.
I thought some of the combat, like the way they were like showing it off, I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then like while they were doing it, I was like, also, I would never be that good at doing that.
Yeah, there is
because they were like stringing all types of shit together. I was like, fucking, that looks cool. I'm never gonna. It's
got a bit of Rocksteady about it, hasn't it? It's got a bit of
a little bit. Yeah, you're right.
A bit of Arkham going on, but.
I mean, for people that enjoyed the first Middle-earth, I'm guessing they're like, fucking yeah, buddy, let's go.
And that game reviewed brilliantly and then sort of disappeared really quickly.
And like, when I tried it, I was just like, oh my god, this is like Assassin's Creed. I'm climbing loads of towers. This is not what I expected it to be at all.
Yeah. And
totally put me off it, which was a shame.
Kevin. Well, it's a big game. It just doesn't really feel like it to me. I don't know if that's just me, but it certainly looks very impressive. And the things that were strong about it in the first place, I think they've built on, which is cool.
Yeah, true.
And yeah, Microsoft, at the end, we had basically the follow-up to Ori and the Blind Forest, which is tremendously exciting for people with Xboxes and decent PCs. I still haven't played Ori and the Blind Forest. I still want to. I know that you really enjoyed it.
Cracking game. Just the visuals. Like at the moment, it's a lot about the visuals for me. I don't know why, but this was a game that had a great art style to it, and it just enticed me in. It's like, if I want to read a book, it better have a fucking good front cover, buddy.
Gibbon.
Otherwise, I ain't reading it.
It's a full-blown Gibbon. Full-blown.
Gibbons, buddy. So yeah, Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Will-o'-the-Wisp, yeah?
War of the Worlds.
Will-o'-the-Wisps is a very odd name. Will-o'-the-Wisp, of course, being... Will-o'-the-Wisp being a children's cartoon from the 1970s in the UK, featuring Kenneth Williams from the Carry On films. A very catchy theme tune.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah. I looked up earlier, and
so you were like, "Oh, that sounds funny," and then, okay, yeah.
I mean, it was late when the conference was on, and I was like falling asleep, and I was like, "Fucking, did they just say Will-o'-the-Wisp? They're making a Will-o'-the-Wisp game."
I remember this. Oh my god!
Catchy theme tune, buddy. Catchy theme tune.
The beautiful thing.
And the actual Kenneth Williams, like.
Beautiful.
There you go.
There you go.
Ori and Will-o'-the-Wisp.
I mean, they're both in this episode. He's definitely in the forest.
Yep.
I mean, I'm guessing he's in most of them.
Ori and the ghost of Kenneth Williams in the jungle. That seems to be what's going on here. That's fine.
Imagine that.
That's fine.
He was like the final boss or something.
Very charismatic gentleman. Certainly worth listening to his Desert Island Discs.
Lovely.
From the... little while ago. So anyway, that was the Microsoft conference. I think they smashed it. They had some great games. A lot of people will come out of E3 and tell you that Ubisoft had the best conference. I wholly disagree.
Did you see, was it Devolver Digital? Did you see their 15-minute presentation?
I didn't, actually.
You watch it and we'll comment about it next week.
Okay.
It's a doozy.
Okay, thanks very much. Will do. I'll make a note of that, and I will do.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought it was strong. We'll move on. Let's move on to Bethesda. They were the Monday 3 a.m. British Sexy Time conference, buddy.
Monday.
Monday Nitro. We're cutting through this pretty quickly because they didn't have a lot, frankly.
They had fuck all, really, buddy. And I'm going to say we predicted pretty much all of it.
We did. So they had Fallout 4 VR, which we knew was coming and is Fallout 4 in VR. They had Doom VR, but they call it VFR, virtual fucking reality. LOL. That's fine. Again, cool. I can't comment on these very well because I still haven't played a VR game where you use the stick to move around, and that's crucial to these games. Now, how that affects your immersion and the point of actually playing it in VR, like, I don't know. But I certainly don't really... I think Doom VR would be terrifying, frankly, but there we are.
With Fallout 4, it looks like, you've got motion there, you can walk around. With Doom, it was that whole like teleporty thing, and I feel like that is just going to be fucking terrible.
I just think that's it, yeah. Like, I still don't know one way or the other whether...
What's better.
Yeah, because I've done the sort of the teleporting thing that was part of the demo that I played. And I can tell you that that's shit. Like, that's shit. And all those games are doing that at the moment. And it's poor. Like, it doesn't feel good. It feels rubbish. Like, it feels like, just give me a controller and I'll walk around. So whether actually walking around works in VR to the extent that you don't feel nauseous and it doesn't spoil the immersion, I don't know. I don't think either solution is really an elegant one at this point, but... Segway, yes. blind segwaying. That's what you want.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but they were pushing the VR stuff, and fair play to them. We had the Creation Club, which is some sort of new sort of mod database for...
It seems like it's a way for mods to get paid.
Yeah, and it's kind of almost like a Steam mod platform as well, whereby you've got multiple games housed in the same storefront, which, I suppose makes sense.
It totally makes sense for modders. I guess it gives them another avenue away from Steam's whatever it is mod.
Yeah, the workshop.
Yes, that's the one, the workshop. It's just another avenue to go down, because obviously, like, Fallout and Skyrim are a couple of the most modded games probably in the world.
Gibbon, full blown.
Yeah,
you're gonna want that in there.
So yeah, Skyrim, it's on the Switch now, buddy. Who'd have thought it? I didn't.
Imagine that.
Fucking, I hated it. I was like, what's this cunt? Got his Switch controllers and he's like, oh, motion. I'm gonna shoot you with my bow and arrow.
Yeah, not the best.
No, but hey, fuck it. Mobile Skyrim, love that shit.
Absolutely.
I mean, I thought about going back to Skyrim again.
I've been back too many times, man. Like,
it's gonna
start spoiling your memory if you keep going back at this point. I think
it's just it's 8 years old.
Yeah,
no, 6 years old. Sorry, not 8. Maths. 2011. It came out.
Got to move on.
The worst of it is, at prison, where I work. Not because I'm in prison. Where I work at the prison, like they still go on about it. Like, at least twice a week we have a massive Skyrim discussion about, oh yeah, have you done that bit? Yeah, about all the masks and shit. It's like, it's fun.
No, there's no denying that it's an absolute stonker, but
exactly,
there comes a point where you'll start eroding. I need to get rid
of it now. I just want it to go away.
Yeah.
But it's out on the Switch now, and there might be possibly later in this show where we bring up Skyrim again.
Could happen.
Definitely, we will.
Yeah.
Twice.
There we go.
What's next? I predicted this one, buddy.
Dishonored DLC, Death of the Outsider.
Yeah.
Cool. Again, I struggle to get excited about DLCs. I don't know if I'm weird, but I don't necessarily want to revisit games, even if I thought they were wonderful. I just enjoy them as they are and move on.
I like the a la this one, where it's like a completely different storyline.
Yeah, that's nice. That feels like a different game.
It's still using
almost
the same environments and stuff like that, same engine or whatever, but just totally different storyline, different characters, different everything. I'm like, yeah, cool, chuck it in.
Yeah, certainly better than trying to crowbar shit in.
Yeah,
because
totally.
If you've got content that's very closely linked to the original game, then there's always in the back of your mind this feeling that it probably should have been in the fucking original game. Whereas this is separate, as you say, and that's probably the best way to go.
Gibbons.
So yeah, we've got that.
Just noticed that we're about 2 hours.
I know. Yeah, I'm trying to move along as quick as I can.
My bad.
So next we've got The Evil Within 2, which looks about as weird as the last one, frankly.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I didn't play the first one. Did you ever get the chance to have a go at that?
No, I didn't like the fact that 1, it was scary, and 2, you had limited ammunition. I'm like, that is not a game for me. If I'm going to be in a scary environment, let me be overpowered.
Yeah, I can certainly agree with that. Yeah. It was kind of a mixed bag, sort of 7 out of 10 kind of game. The first one, where some people were absolutely mad for it, and some people thought it was fucking terrible.
It's one of those types of games, like the horror series of games. I feel like that's it. It's like either it's like Marmite kind of thing. You either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's oh yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's distinctly average.
No in between kind of thing, is there?
It's a strong one though. Certainly, lots of love for the first one, and good to have that in the show. A show that didn't really have a very great deal of things in it.
True.
Probably Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. That was probably the highlight, I probably would say.
What's his name? BJ
Blazkowicz. Yeah.
Blazkowicz,
This looks the business.
It does. It very much does look the business.
It looks real nice. Real nice. And first game was very interesting. I think I'm about halfway through it, that first game.
Yeah.
Still got your disc somewhere, so I probably need to go back to that at some point, maybe in my little...
Well, when you're done, buddy, maybe we'll... have a little cheeky giveaway on the podcast.
Oh, that'd be nice, yeah. That'd be good to do.
Why not?
Yeah, like it. Like it a lot. Either way, yeah, it just looks cool. And, you know, this is a publisher that brought us Doom last year, and they really are, across all of their studios, in the peak of their powers when it comes to shooters, for probably the first time since, like, 1996. And as such, you got to stand up and take notice when they announce a new one. This was rumored last year, and
it like when Wolfenstein came out on the PS4, like that really kind of kick-started that. Like,
it did.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
first-person shooter campaign. All right, yeah, I'm in. Let's do this.
It probably was. It was the catalyst for all of it, and it's gone strength to strength since. And this one will be another one that does. So,
I believe so. I think so. Anyway,
yeah,
at least.
Looks cool. Elder Scrolls Legends Skyrim content.
What? Skyrim?
Yeah.
Oh, that's once. It's coming again. I've still got another one to look forward to.
Elder Scrolls Online, buddy.
Morrowind. Not Skyrim.
It's already out.
It's out. Fucking, I mean, they came out and said, once again, we're not working on a Elder Scrolls 6. It's obviously because, like, Elder Scrolls Online's out and you don't want to fucking mess about with that at the moment, really, can you? Because it's only been out 3 years. Sad face.
Sad face indeed, buddy. Sad face indeed. Not the best, but I mean, they had to mention it, I suppose. But
yeah, it's what it is, isn't it, buddy? But you know, that's why I went and played it this week, and I was like, you're shit.
Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah.
So finally, from Bethesda Quake Champions, they announced the World Championship, and this
like
game's
£1 million
still not
prize
out yet,
draw
probably, but.
Stuff. No, did it go into open beta or something now?
I think that was the idea, and then QuakeCon on the way to probably launch the fucking thing.
Yeah, probably.
I played some Quake 3 a few weeks ago, you'll remember, so I'm fucking on board
times.
for this shit. Bring it to consoles, please, and then I can...
Not gonna happen, buddy.
No, it certainly isn't. But there we go.
Not gonna happen.
And that was Bethesda, and it was short, and there wasn't a lot there. And we did say that beforehand, that we thought there would be a bit shorter content, and they fucking were.
Yeah.
But
it was okay.
It was okay.
Fine.
It was fine. Yeah. Next one, buddy. Next one, Ubisoft. This was Monday, 9 p.m. British sexy time.
No Aisha, buddy.
No Aisha Tyler, and
luckily, what's his name?
Yves Guillemot.
Yves Guillemot. He looks crazy. He's such a happy chappy as well.
And this is the thing about Ubisoft, is you want to love them, and they've got lots of zany creators.
I know.
And then
you guys just want to give them
and
a
their show,
or something.
yeah, their show's always crazy and zany, and it's all kind of colourful and diverse. And then all of those fucking games come out, and they are bland as shit.
Fucking balls.
Yep. So with that in mind, buddy, this time round, obviously the loss of Aisha Tyler, Yves Guillemot is not a good presenter.
Who should they bring out, buddy?
Probably
to liven things
probably
up.
Bring, just get fucking Nintendo involved. Probably
let's get Nintendo. Yeah. Get the main man himself.
I was absolutely amazed by this, like, genuinely. So Ubisoft come out. You got Yves Guillemot. He's still standing up against Vivendi, and then suddenly they announce a Mario Rabbids game, and they bring Shigeru Miyamoto out, and it's almost
with
like
a fucking gun on
with
his
a gun,
arm.
yeah, with a gun. And it's like, hey, we're going to bring out this far more successful publisher than us.
Yeah.
And then it seemed the conversation between the two of them, which was translated because Miyamoto's English isn't the best, although it's clearly better than he makes out in a sort of Pochettino kind of way.
Like you do.
Seemed to go on far longer than it should have done.
It was brilliant when they were fucking about because, like, a couple of like the stage people or stage crew or whatever brought on another gun for Eve, and then they started like pretending to shoot each other in the crowd. That crowd were loving it. I was loving it. I was like, this is ace. This is so good.
It was still like vaguely awkward, which was lovely as well.
Yeah, it was so weird. And then obviously after that they announced Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which to start off with, I was like, what's this? They're just following each other, collecting coins, and that was about it. They were like in a line or something. It was weird. And then suddenly, like a battle sequence started or something, and it just all came into place. I was so confused. I was like, what am I looking at? Some sort of turn-based strategy game here with Mario and Rabbids. And the first thing I saw, I was like, this is XCOM with Mario and Rabbids? What?
Yeah, absolutely baffling, frankly. I've no idea. But I have to say, it was something that I really wanted to fucking play. Like, you're absolutely right, with all the XCOM shit. Like, and it was really, really tongue-in-cheek, really funny. And it kind of... It's weird because they're crossing boundaries here that you'd never expect Nintendo to cross.
Just fucking confused to fuck. But I was just like... I'm so intrigued right now, and like, like when it's not if I get a Switch, it's when I get a Switch. Like, yes, I will get that game and play.
Yeah, it's a must buy. It's a must buy.
Just for the experience of how weird and zany it is. That's right, zany.
Zany. It is zany. It is, yeah. No, zany has been tarnished by things that are not zany, but this is certainly under the category of zany.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Zany zone.
It certainly is. So yeah, no, it was actually a very strong beginning to their show.
Cracking.
And they kept that going actually with the Crew 2, and I never really would have thought I'd say that.
I know, but, it's weird.
Looked really, really good, and it's
very
got
polished. A lot of work has clearly gone into this. Like, I was main. Do you want to just explain the main difference between the Crew and the Crew 2, buddy? Quickly.
Well, it would appear that the Crew 2 is multi-vehicle, so you've got boats and planes and stuff as well as your standard driving around. They've kind of gone for the playground element. To be honest, what it reminded me of most was Criterion's proof of concept that was in the EA conference about 3-4 years ago, which I was very much hoping would become a game, and never did. They pulled them off of it. But no, it looks slick. It looks like they may well have learnt a lot of lessons from the first game.
The main thing that I took away from it is like the texture quality and like just the water. I was just like, when the boats were on it, I was just like, wow, that looks really fucking good.
It looks really nice. Still need proof that actually like travelling point to point across their map is actually genuinely interesting. And judging by the physics in Ghost Recon, they probably need to work hard on that game. But either way, it had a lot of potential, and it was actually a reason to be cheerful that this game might hold it together. They could have easily abandoned it.
Unfortunately,
after
buddy, it is Ubisoft, and you know what that means. Well, not what it means, but possibly a higher chance of it actually not looking like that, and also being really bad.
Yeah, these things can happen with all of the games we're going to talk about here.
I do love getting lost, though, like in the magic of the moment, being like, ooh, shiny.
That's what E3's for, isn't it? Is that hype train.
I love it.
You just got to jump on, buddy. That's the way it is. Yeah. So next we got Transference, which was some sort of journey deep into Elijah Wood's mind.
I thought it was going to be like some kind of Dirk Gently shit. I was like, I
don't know what was going on there. I'm not even gonna.
It's very strange.
I don't know. Some sort of VR experience.
Weird experience,
yeah. Kind of. They did a sort of mock-up documentary, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
With Elijah Wood. But yeah. not a great deal of VR in Ubi's conference, but that was one of them, and it was nicely presented. At least they got round the whole awkwardness of trying to present a VR game on a stage at E3. So there was that. Next, Skull and Bones, which is basically the pirate ship bit from Assassin's Creed Black Flag that they've turned into a game, like a tactical game with multiplayer elements and so on.
Co-op pirating again.
Co-op pirating. Yeah. Suddenly all the pirate games are coming. Again, I thought, this is clearly a heavy multiplayer focused game. I thought it looked shit. Like, graphically, it looks bad, this game.
I thought it looked like Black Flag. So, yeah, old, yeah. But, and again, I don't know how much love I actually had for those sailing elements. As part of an Assassin's Creed game, I thought they were fun. Great part of the game. I really enjoyed the ship battles and things like that. I
think, do you want to do just that?
No, of course not. I don't want to. No. It was a great addition to a game. Obviously, they thought it was good enough to make a whole game out of. I don't know if it is going to be any good. It could be quite fun. But the thing that put me off was like the whole it's going to have seasons to it. Not like the seasons in a year, but stages where like there'd be different leaderboards, and the whole thing is to become like the ultimate pirate. So it's already got like for me, it's got like a persona of like league tables and things for pirates.
Trying to force feed the esports elements of this game.
And that like immediately turned me off. Obviously I signed up for the beta straight away, and Ubisoft were like, oh, if you're lucky, we'll send you a code. I'm like,
which is what they always say, and then they send you 10.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be a beta for that, so we'll try it out, see what it's about, and go from there. But it could be
and there was a running theme there, wasn't there? Like plenty of betas on the Ubisoft front, which is fine. Always good. Yeah. Always nice to try shit out. Just whether it's actually trying it out or just being a sort of pre-sale demo. But either way, looked interesting, and we'll give it a go. Next, Starlink Battle of Atlas, which is the next Toys to Life game that Ash will be made to buy.
Probably.
It's
more than likely.
I don't know if you saw this, but it basically looks like they're trying to cash in on the Disney Infinity Stroke Lego thing, but with ships that kind of slot onto the controller itself. Which reminded me of the old fighting cards, like the barcode cards.
Oh yeah,
do you remember that old game? Yeah. Like just sort of battles and stuff. I thought that
battle or something, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, this for Toys to Life, like I thought this looks a bit budget, really. Like it looks a little bit like the fake Lego you get from Wilkinson, like that sort of. I don't know, maybe I was just being a little harsh on it there, but yeah, intriguing that Ubisoft are going after that, because as I said last week or the week before, I felt like it was kind of winding down a little bit.
I thought they were all kind of dying out now, to be honest.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Next, Far Cry 5. Literally the most excited I've been for a Far Cry game since the first one came out. I think the tone of this looks really interesting, graphically awesome. The era that it's set in, the location that it's set in, the background to the story and everything. I'm fucking on board. It gives me little waves of BioShock Infinite in its lore and stuff. And I'm just the fact that I could play through the whole thing with you.
Yeah, like that. The main thing that's selling this to me is the fact that the entire game is co-op. And that sounds awesome. Visually, obviously, from what I've seen, looks really good. Storyline sounds pretty cool, from what I've heard as well. So yeah, I mean, there's like you say, it's since a long time. I'm actually interested in a Far Cry game, which is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. You can catch lots of gameplay and stuff online of this, so I suggest you go and have a look if you're interested. But it just looks cool. Just looks cool to me. Beyond Good and Evil 2, that was their big announcement. And I can't really tell you very much about this. It was a very nice sort of FMV. but it didn't tell you anything about the game. I'd never played the first game.
I know, me neither, which is
15 years ago.
Yeah, it might be a game that I might stick on at some point or find somewhere. And
might have to do some investigating.
Yeah, I think so, because like you say, there's so much love for this game. So yeah, maybe it's something that we should try and get into. You know, like we have done with other titles like Bloodborne and Persona and things like that. Broaden our horizons, buddy.
Yeah, worth a go, definitely. Because big deal. Lots of people are really excited about this. But yeah, I'm certainly not qualified at this point to talk about it, so I won't. Nearly there. Steep is getting an Olympic expansion. Possibly time to jump in on Steep. No, it isn't. South Park, The Fractured Butthole, another big reveal. Loads of people being really excited. And yeah, it looks awesome. Like, I absolutely still want this game. We pre-ordered it and left that money with Sony for fucking ages before they eventually gave it back.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I can't get excited for it because it's just like been such a letdown for such a long time.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, it's nearly been like an entire year since.
No doubt when it comes out and we get it, we'll be like, cool.
Definitely. But for now, like, I've given up on the hype for this game because that was this time last year.
Yep, it's true. But more interestingly, I suppose, from a new release standpoint, South Park Phone Destroyer, which is it was a really funny reveal advert for it. This is a South Park card game. Everyone's getting stuck in with the card games on mobile devices. I mean, I can't comment on whether this will be a good game or not. It looks like it's going to be free to play, but it was a fucking funny ad for it.
Yeah, it was. It was a funny advert, and it looks like these boys like are happy to put their name towards these type of games, like rather geeky, nerdy games, RPGs and card games.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like they're probably, it's going to be funny as hell, I reckon.
I think so. I think that's fair to say. Absolutely. And that was the Ubisoft conference, buddy. And it was strong, I thought. A few awkward moments, but a really good selection of games.
Yeah.
I say strong. I don't think any of them were that strong this year. But I think in terms of comparing them to the conferences that other people had this year, I thought it was pretty solid, to be honest. A good selection. Real curveball with Miyamoto out on stage with Yves Guillemot. It was just quite a striking image, to be honest. They'd kind of won the day with just that. And then all of the other things that they had, like South Park, like Far Cry, like Skull and Bones and Beyond Good and Evil. Like it was strong. It was a good selection, and I think they did pretty well. Would it be fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. I think they did very well.
So we move on to PlayStation. The conference was supposed to start at 2 a.m. and they did this weird sort of pre-show where they kind of announced everything before they even came out.
Did you watch any of this?
I didn't catch it, no, because I just tuned in when the show started. So
you watched it at 2 in the morning?
Yeah.
You are meant. I was up at 1:30. I was like, fuck, that's how I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
it must have been like 1ish because so I actually downloaded it and watched it the next day and I was like, fucking 2 hours long, what is this shit? And it had like the pre-media whatever conference or something it is, and so I'll quickly just run through what they spoke about here, which it was clearly stuff they wanted to talk about, but it felt like the majority of people are going to watch the main conference, so they want to get all the big shit in there. So here we had like a gameplay trailer for Crash Bandicoot, the Insane trilogy that's coming out very soon. Looks like Crash Bandicoot with a fresh paint job or whatever you want to call it, really.
Yep.
Saw a bit of Knack 2, buddy.
Yeah. No.
At this point, we had like an interview with what's his name, Mark Kearney. Is it Kearney or?
I think it's Cerny, but yeah.
Where he spoke quite a bit about like the PS4 Pro, and I was like, oh yay! Made me feel a lot better on owning one. He spoke about how it's only 6 months old. We're still developing this, give it some time, it's coming through. And then he spoke about all like all the shit that it can do and stuff like that. It made me feel better, at least. They announced PlayLink, which is like games that you can download, and they're multiplayer games, couch co-op, not co-op, couch multiplayer, up to 5 friends. And if anyone has played what's the party pack that we've got? Jackbox, that's it. It's like that. So you get your phone out and then you can use your phone. One of the games is called Hidden Agenda, which is like a cop thriller.
Looks funny, actually.
Yeah, it looks cool. And so, like, you can make choices what happens within the story and things like that, and there's like reaction tests and things. So it looks pretty cool. It'd be quite fun. Hopefully, I don't think there was a release for when this is coming out, but if it does come out soon or before we all meet up for the Shunt reunion, like, I think this would be worth having a go at. It'd be quite funny.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah.
And the other game that was shown was a game called That's You. And it's a game where you take pictures of each other and draw stuff on it and things like that. It's a funny game.
And then eventually you come all over it, and that's how it kind of...
Yeah, I'm just going to draw...
No, sorry, buddy. No, sorry. I thought it was something else there. Sorry about that. But
okay.
No.
But yeah, there will be penises drawn on people's faces.
There will.
You will
have a dickhead. You just will.
Is that game pretty much in a nutshell? I think it's
really
cool.
Good idea.
Yeah,
that they've gone down that road. The Jackbox thing's awesome.
Exactly.
And, if they can get a bite of that and bring us some fun, then totally, man. Absolutely.
Yep. Matterfall, which is a game developed by the developers of Resogun. It's like a side-scroller survival thing. I don't know. It looked okay. They showed some Everybody's Golf, which I'm not allowed to talk about because I'm on the beta.
You can talk about what they showed.
It looked mental. You can go fishing and drive a car. It's like an open-world golf game. Don't ask me. That's not from my experience. That's just from what I've seen on the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it is. It's like one of these hubs, like what Adam Universe was trying to be, PlayStation Home, like all of these things where they've tried to integrate, like, sort of, yeah, it's like the golf's tacked on. Let's put it that way.
True.
Which is kind of weird.
GT Sport, they did like a mini documentary about GT Sport. Actually, it went around like the whole like production studio and stuff. It was really cool. That game looks awesome. Looks really good.
That game looks awesome, and I'm not allowed to talk about it as someone who's on the closed beta for it. That game, I can't talk about it. But,
from the video, though, it looked really good, though, didn't it?
I'm still playing that closed beta that seems to be on forever.
Nice.
On a regular basis.
They had a big talk about PlayStation VR, like what they're planning or hoping to do with the future, which was quite intriguing because at the moment they obviously use like the two screens which like overlap with your eyes in a way to give the thought of or the vision of a 3D space. But then they were talking about like using focus and stuff like that, so eye tracking and things. And I was like, oh, that's that kind of makes sense. They also announced Super Hot VR is coming to PlayStation VR and a game called Spark, which looks like VR Pong.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff looks like VR Pong.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the first one to look like VR Pong. It's like, it won't be the last either. The sort of cockpit esports games.
Yeah.
There's like a trend of certain genres appearing because it's clearly something that's easily done. But this did stand out a little bit. This did look a little bit nicer.
It looked quite
than most.
interesting. I don't know how, like, I don't think there was any kind of like gameplay footage, but from the idea of it seemed to be
the concepts and yeah.
Tropico 6 was announced.
Yep.
That's coming out. Undertale. Don't ask me what that game is.
That's a cool game that I look forward to playing.
It looks weird as fuck, buddy.
It certainly does.
I have no...
I've seen it quite a lot of streams.
3 times. I was like, nope, still don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like an anti-game kind of thing. It's a game where you make decisions and they're the opposite of what you'd expect from a video game. Kind of a social simulator kind of thing, but it's cool. It'd be certainly worth picking up. God knows what the price point will be on that, but I'm up for that. I'm up for playing that.
Cool. And then finally they finished on Ni no Kuni 2, which I have no idea what it is. Some JRPG, I'm guessing.
Yep, and I don't know anything about that either, so we'll move on.
Cool. So yeah, then after that hour of talking about games that are coming out, they were like, yeah, time for the conference. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, sweet.
Yeah, and they could have done with some of those games in the actual conference.
Right? And
rather than the
thought.
DLCs and stuff that they were announcing.
It was
to be honest.
so weird. I was like, I don't know, like that play link, I feel like that should have been in the main thing. Like that.
Agreed, yeah.
Apart from that, then maybe the GT Sport. But
GT Sport.
That was.
Yeah.
I think they had like glimpses of GT Sport in the actual thing.
But they should have had that documentary in there. I mean, that's their
really cool
only like
documentary.
big first party release coming out this year. Like it should have been in there. It's important.
I know. They're mental though, buddy.
They certainly are. So we kick things off with Shadow of the Colossus, which looked awesome and looked way better than a remaster, and Shuhei Yoshida came out and clarified that.
Not a remaster.
No, it's a full remake.
And I'm like,
from the ground up, start to finish.
I want that because I played that on a PS2 emulator like I don't know, must have been a year or so ago, because I was like, yeah, I've never played these. Because it was like when The Last Guardian was announced and I was like, what's this? Like fucking bone idle idiot that I am. Fucking what's this? What's this shit?
Yeah, but you got on it and you tried it out. You had a go, and
I enjoyed my time with it. And if I can play that with these gorgeous graphics, I'll be like, yeah, cool, I'll do that.
Absolutely.
And also, it's got brand new controls as well. They said,
which is important because from what I've heard, it was pretty sort of counterintuitive, to be honest.
Pretty special.
Which is from a different era, isn't it? So it's one of those.
That's what it is.
Yep. They moved on to Spider-Man. Sony were kind of doing a thing here where they were trying to do some staging. They had zombies hanging from the ceiling in Days Gone. They had Spider-Man with like a big background and then a moving TV. So they were trying to be sort of a little bit edgy here. I didn't really feel like it worked very well, if I'm honest. But I suppose you got to give them some credit for trying it, and sometimes you nail it and sometimes you don't. But yeah, so Spider-Man gameplay trailer. Proper gameplay, showed a couple of battles, looked very, very Arkham games, very Rocksteady.
Looked very shiny.
It looked really nice graphically.
Very, like the motion blur and everything. I was like, fucking this looks the shit. But then once again, it comes back to what I said about Shadow of Mordor, or whatever it is, Mordor Revenge. I can't remember the name of it. Middle Earth, Shadow of War. There you go. Is it because it's being played by someone that knows how to play this game? Like, if I go out there and be like the retard that I am and mash buttons, is it going to look as good as this?
Yeah, there's certainly that. In terms of the mechanics, there were some interesting sort of web moves and stuff, lots of takedowns. I was a little underwhelmed. I was kind of thinking this was going to be like super, super hype. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of potential here. I think this is a game that I could really enjoy because of the stealth elements. There's lots of sort of hiding up in the shadows and the rafters and sort of swinging down on your
But there was that in Batman
stuff
as well, buddy. I couldn't get on with it because like, as soon as you kind of get stuck in, then it's like everyone's alerted and they all come at you. And I'm like, okay, just...
Yeah, I don't like Batman though. Whereas I've got time for Spider-Man. He's got an actual superpower rather than just being a rich fucking businessman in his shit suit. So that does make a difference. And the sort of I see what you're saying though. Absolutely, like there's lots of parallels between the games. There's nothing to suggest that I'd like this one, having not really got on with the others.
Yeah,
so
this would be a perfect game for a demo. Just saying.
It would.
Just saying.
It certainly would. Yeah. Next, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. They pushed this pretty heavy. It was one of their big 3 reveals at the start of the show. I don't know why. Like, it's fine. Yeah, Uncharted, massive. Loved Uncharted 4.
Great game.
Really enjoyed it. But this is DLC. That game is out, and this is an added chapter for more money. And that's fine, and I would like to play it. I don't really care that much, because it's not part of the main game, and I've always had this thing where I'm not big on DLC, but to push it as one of your main things at your conference, I don't really understand that, if I'm honest. And so we'll move on from it, frankly. It looks cool. It looked like Uncharted. It's with the old girls, what's her face, the South African bird, and Claudia Black, whoever she plays. They're in it as a duo. Fine. It'll be great. It'll be fun.
I'm sure
it'll be 20 quid.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Detroit Being Human gameplay and cinematic trailer looks like absolute fucking ball bags, this game, as I would expect from a David Cage game. I just think
QTEs, buddy.
Loads of quick time events.
Decision making.
Yeah. Loads of fucking quick time events. And frankly, just who gives a fuck? Like, he's tackling, like, the subject of racism here.
Yeah, it's a good one.
He is in no way qualified to tackle that fucking... Like, he's going to make a hash of that. This game's going to be an embarrassment. I'm sorry. Like, of everything that was shown to me at E3, that was the thing that I was like I'm not surer about anything than this. This game will be wank. This game will be wank. It just will. Just looks shit. The dialogue seems awful. The acting seems awful. It doesn't look nice. It's just, oh god, what a mess. Just me.
I mean, what more can I say? I think you've hit all the right notes.
It looks bad. What doesn't look bad is Destiny 2, which looks awesome, and we are ultra super pumped for, but we've talked about that a lot, and we didn't really learn anything more about it at E3 this year, so I suppose we leave that for another day. Is that fair
there
to
was
say,
some
buddy?
4K 60 frames per second PC stuff released. Looks very nice.
Does look lovely. Looks really lovely. But didn't learn a great deal. So next, Sony had Horizon Zero Dawn, the Frozen Wilds DLC, which you... DLC. Dynamite!
Love DLC.
You'll know how I feel about this based on what I said about 3 minutes ago. So, fine. Looks nice, but it's DLC, and as such, I just don't think it should be mainlining in a fucking conference. It's for one of the biggest, companies at E3.
I know. It's like the Dishonored DLC and stuff like that. I was just like, well, it doesn't need to be there.
Further signs that they're short of fucking first-party content for their console. That's what I think. But they need new IPs. They need more new IPs, more and pronto, preferably. Thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers, then. All right. Thanks very much. Bye. Cheers. Talking of what I thought was kind of like a new IP, and having seen the latest reveal trailer, I suspect not. God of War, or Dad of War, as it was known from the previous reveal trailer.
Dad of War. Yeah.
I was excited about that game because it didn't look like the hack and slash of God of War. It looked like something else. It looked like all Sony's first party titles. Like, it looked like The Last of Us. But at this point, having seen a trailer of it proper, I'm less excited, but I don't really blame the dev or the game. It looks like God of War. It probably should, because it's God of War, but as such, it looks less interesting to me. I thought there was going to be some hidden depth there, and judging by the...
There still might be.
But probably just in the cutscenes and stuff. I mean, there's still nice climbing mechanics, and the combat looks good. It was just at odds with the original reveal, I thought, which was a bit strange.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Because they're like, in the original one, there was all like waypoints and things like that shown, I think, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. And it's still, as you say, it still might have like a good mixture.
Yeah.
maybe this was designed to sort of show the God of War fans that this is still a God of War game.
Yeah, I guess so. The thing that annoyed me was it's still not out till next year. I think early next year, though it said so. Like March time next year. I'm like, for fuck's sake. So
running theme.
But seen it, like especially in this this conference, like I don't think there was anything that was shown that's like coming out this year, like any first party stuff apart from DLC.
Yeah, not the best. And speaking of things that aren't coming out this year, Days Gone, which I genuinely couldn't give a hovering fuck about.
Right? The point where I was just like, you've lost me completely, and that was the bit. He gets taken off his bike. He's looking for his mate. He gets up off his bike, kills the guys. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Then he gets his like hunting sense or whatever bollocks sense it is
from The Last of Us.
Yeah, like with The Last of Us, I understand it. Like it gets away with it because she's got a fucking microchip or something attached to her head, and that's doing it for her. This guy's just like, I don't know, like he smells the air or like licks his boot or I don't know, he does something.
It's all bollocks, isn't it? I know Tom's complained about it before, and it does totally wreck things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it also looks like one of those games where it's all scripted and shit.
Yeah,
like
totally.
You can move past enemies when you're in complete plain sight of them, just because that's what it wants you to do. It funnels you in a specific direction. Just not interested in this game whatsoever, which is a shame because it's they've clearly invested in this. It's a big title. This is a big AAA.
Yeah, of course it is.
But fuck off. Just don't care.
Zombies are so last gen, buddy.
Absolutely, buddy. Full blown. Monster Hunter World. People will love this. I'm not one of them, but
no,
fine.
I'm not either.
Monster Hunter has always been a mystery to me.
It looked like Ark.
It's like Ark crossed with Dark Souls, but I don't know very much about it, and it certainly doesn't appeal to me. Ark Souls. And Call of Duty World War II, which I genuinely thought looked like utter balls.
I don't know where... it didn't look shiny enough for me.
It just looked like Black Ops 3. Like, the perks and stuff. I could already imagine myself rage quitting out as someone drops another fucking bomb on my head because they got a 15 kill streak. When it does
that fucking camera from like the bomb dropping down, I was just like, well, that's perk number 3.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I was hoping for back to the roots, kind of more simplicity.
It's
in terms
never
of...
going to go back to like Call of Duty 2 or 3 or that kind of thing. It's got this whole mass multiplayer kind of thing. Like it needs to sustain that now.
Yeah,
and it will never go back to the way it was.
No, you're right. And I just kind of hoped that there might be a sort of slight sniff that it would at least retain some of its old glory. But as you say, they've built a fucking juggernaut and they're going to stick to it. And it doesn't matter who's developing the game.
Nope. Was it tried and tested or whatever it is? Like, you need to have this kind of thing wherever the fuck you want, but like in any scenario, but it has to have these
tick these boxes.
Yeah, exactly. Cool mechanics.
And I'm sure it'll play lovely. I'm sure it'll be, 60 frames loveliness, but at the end of the day, it doesn't capture the spirit of the setting that it's in.
True.
And that's a bit of a problem. So
So
that was Sony, and I thought it was pretty weak, if I'm honest. And I thought that the disappointing thing about how weak it was the fact that if they'd included some of the pre-show stuff, that it would have been a much stronger show.
That's the strangest thing. Like I was happier with the pre-show because it convinced me that okay, my purchase wasn't fucking retarded, and you've got something interesting coming in. PlayLink, they spoke about VR, how they're trying to push that forward. And that GT Sport thing was fucking well cool.
Yep, they had some quirkiness in there as well. It was measured. It was good. Yeah,
my highlights from the actual conference: Destiny 2, I guess.
Yeah,
but that was like I've already seen the unveiling for that. This was just like, on PlayStation you get exclusive shit. I'm like, whoop-de-doo, couldn't give a fuck. I want the game.
Probably God of War. Probably I'd enjoy God of War. When it comes out. Other than that, no. Spider-Man as well. Hopefully, will turn into something that I like the look of. But at this point in time, it left me very cold as the conference goes. I think Sony has had a cracking first half of the year with games like Neo, Nier, Horizon, Persona. It looks suspiciously as though the second half's going to be very weak. But that's okay for us because we can dine off on our racing
Maybe
games.
That
There's
was
a whole...
like an idea because like the second half of the year is normally like when like big franchises come out,
the third party stuff.
The big hitters come out, like you say, third party, and they were like, well, nothing really much comes out in this front end of the year. Maybe we'll try and dominate that again.
Yeah, and they have done. They've done a great job of that. And yeah, as you say, we got PES to buy, we got F1 to buy, Project Cars 2, GT Sport probably.
There's a fuckload.
Plenty of stuff.
Mate, it's quite late. I will be yawning quite a bit.
10 to 12 at this point, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going strong.
See, the difference between this show and previous E3 episodes is we're moving at a really good pace, and I don't think it's got like boring or we've got bogged down, but there's just too much to talk about for us to deal with.
And that's because people want to see games, buddy. So what did they do? Show us a shitload of games.
They fucking did. They really did.
Not talking about media and sports.
The sports, yes, the television.
Sports.
So... final conference, Nintendo, which, as you correctly mentioned in the notes, last week we kind of just forgot about.
Didn't even
but
fucking mention it.
To be fair to us, they don't always do one, so
That's true.
We'll whiz through this really quickly.
Yeah,
there wasn't a great deal here.
No,
what was there was good.
It was good. It made me think, buying a Switch would be a good choice later in the year.
Givens. Metroid Prime 4 in development.
Seems cool.
Looks cool. A Pokemon RPG for Switch being developed by Game Freak.
Yeah.
You love that shit. I'd be up for that.
I can't wait now, mate. Seriously, that's going to be awesome.
Absolutely will. People are going to lap that up, and it looks like they're going to really get the content that this device deserves.
I hope so.
Rocket League coming to Switch.
Yeah.
This holiday season, cross-play with Xbox One and PC. Metroid coming to 3DS. I look forward to picking that up on my 2DS, buddy. So that'd be nice.
Indeed.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 coming holiday season. Again, like not a massive franchise in this country, but more support for a console that really fervently needs it. So that was something. And yeah, then they rounded things off with a new Yoshi game that looks awesome, like cardboard cool. kind of vibe to it in terms of that you've had the sort of Woolly World kind of vibe. This one was kind of all cardboard cutouts, kind of had a bit of a tearaway thing going on, and was unmistakably Nintendo. And a new Kirby game. You know that I love my fucking Kirby. Pretty fucking special. I suppose the big reveal as well, Skyrim on Switch was a big deal.
Yes,
like, again, we've really been sick to death of Skyrim. I find it hard to believe that people who've bought a Switch would actually be that bothered about Skyrim coming to it. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
I don't know. It is what it is, isn't it? It's weird.
It's a weird one, but... Skyrim once again. And I don't think we mentioned Skyrim VR earlier in the show either. That's a thing that is coming.
Away. That was the second the thing of Skyrim coming out again. And guess how much Skyrim VR is on the store, buddy?
How much, buddy?
How much do you reckon it is? I was thinking like 30 quid. Max.
I mean, I wouldn't go higher than 40, certainly.
50 quid.
£50.
For Skyrim again, and again.
And again.
And again.
Hasn't the deluxe edition of that been like £1 on Steam?
On Steam, it's just ridiculous. It goes down to like 5 quid like every month.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it's another game for Switch, so I suppose that's cool. Skyrim, that is, not Skyrim VR. But yeah, new Yoshi game, new Kirby game, and some new amiibos, if that's how you choose to live your life. 4 Zelda ones, 3 Super Mario Odyssey ones. Cool. Nice and concise from Nintendo, no fucking about. Still need support for their console pronto. I don't think they're going to get it. I'd imagine they'll port loads of indies over in the second half of the year to try and fill the void.
Totally.
They also need to get their fucking store up and running as quickly as possible, get all those ROMs going. I'm calling them ROMs because that's what they are. But yeah, it was pretty strong, and they've had a good year, and I think that they'll have a good Christmas as well. So, fair enough, I suppose, from the old Nintendo there.
Gibbons, buddy.
So you nailed on to get a Switch now, are you?
When the time is right, I will definitely pick one up.
Fair enough.
I just don't know when that time is.
We shall see. Depends how hard the kids push, I suppose. Can happen.
Gibbons.
So I think that'll about do us, buddy. We're going to move off onto all of our other things and bits and bobs and normalities next week, because obviously this was always going to be an incredibly long show versus normal because of all of the E3 stuff. We'll try and cover as much as possible. Hopefully you've enjoyed us talking through it. It hasn't been dull or dragged too much or whatever. If it has, you probably aren't listening now anyway, so fuck you.
Quick question.
Go on.
Game of the show.
Game of the show. For me personally, the last night.
Yeah, man. The last night, yeah.
I thought the last night just looked utterly
really cool,
brilliant. In terms of AAA town, I think a lot of it was a bit of a letdown. I thought Battlefront 2 might steal the show and didn't. Assassin's Creed, same. Scrolling through the list very quickly.
I know, that's the thing, and you shouldn't. There should be so many jumping out at you, but there's just not, is there?
I think Far Cry is up there.
Like Anthem is probably there for me.
That's up there, yeah.
That looks really intriguing, but you know, anything could happen with that. And
I think in terms of stealing the show, not necessarily in terms of what's going to be an amazing game, but the E3 glitz, like the surprise and the amazement and the excitement, it would probably be Mario and Rabbids.
That was
because it was just such a bold move from two rivals. It was a big deal. I think that'd probably be the moment of the show, was Miyamoto coming out with his cannon. Like, I think that'd probably do it.
The my game in the show, we haven't actually mentioned it, buddy, and it's a VR game on PlayStation. That's Monster of the Deep, Final Fantasy 15. VR fishing, buddy. Fucking sign me up.
He loves it. Fucking hell. That was on our little big long list.
I know,
earlier.
we got rid of it, but I was just like, I've got to say something about it just because it's fucking VR fishing, mate.
Special. Very special.
I'd be all over that. I'd sit there in my seat, just fucking, here we go.
Gotta get the peripheral, mate, with the reel on it.
Get the Dreamcore fishing rod out. Go on, whoop. Off it goes.
Salad days.
Reeling it in. I could sit there for hours. It'd be great.
You know, beautiful, full online, like 20 of you around the lake.
Yeah, mate. Co-op. Amazing. That'd be great.
Yeah. Absolutely. You pull it in and I'll stick it up my bum. That's how fishing goes.
Nice. Yep. Like it. But yeah, it's I wasn't bowled over with this year.
It was poor. It was one of the worst I've ever come across. I genuinely believe that across the whole set of conferences, and considering there's a few more than there used to be sort of 10, 15 years ago. True. It was a very underwhelming year. It reeked of sort of middle of the cycle syndrome, which is hilarious because there's new consoles out and coming out, so that shouldn't happen. But it just was. It was just a bit stale. And another nail in the coffin, honestly. Like, E3 is dying, unfortunately. And I was still excited about it. I still looked forward to the conferences and watched all of them.
Yeah.
Whether I would have done that if we didn't do a weekly podcast, I can't say 100% with hand on heart. which is rare because I always watch them in the past. It just wasn't that great this year, but
yeah, it was a bit of a letdown, which is odd because it had probably more games than ever shown.
I had a massive amount of games, but just a lot of generic stuff, DLCs, stuff that, and the biggest problem that E3 has always had and continues to is them showing you games that aren't out for over a year.
Yeah, I mean,
in an era of time when everything's so like now I want this now, I want this directly.
Need it now.
I don't give a fuck what's out in 15 months.
No,
you know,
don't give a fuck.
No.
And like quite a few of Sony's like things were things that we saw last year. It's like, well, great, well done. In a year you've produced a 5-minute video. Tip of the
Sony's
cap.
only big reveal was Monster Hunter. They had nothing else.
I know, and that was really
disappointing.
badly put together. That video.
It wasn't good, but I can see why people are excited. But yeah it's just a bit underwhelming, a bit disappointing.
Certainly.
But still loads to look forward to. Just not the most engaging and exciting conference. But there we go.
Gibbons, buddy. Let's call it a night there. That's E3.
That's E3. And we've come in around the 3-hour mark. And that's fine. We will cover we've had some good submissions. We've had some art from Mel. We'll cover all that stuff next week on the show. Back to normal, get some news in and stuff. Always a lull with the news after E3 as well. Start talking about Dead Island Syndrome as well, buddy, because we're heading into that sort of arium.
God, yeah. That's true.
Cheeky stuff. I caught Logic this week, buddy, the moment that it stopped recording, so we didn't miss anything there.
Nice.
You'd be pleased to hear.
Good news.
So anyway, it only remains for me to say thanks so much for listening. You can find us at www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk, Facebook / The JFG Podcast. Our Twitter handle is at The JFG Podcast. We're also on SoundCloud, YouTube, PlayStation 4. Come and join our community at The JFG Podcast. And we're all over the place, podcast apps and so on and so forth. And we are also on Google Plus, if that is how you choose to live your life. And my voice is nearly gone. It's certainly time for bed. It's dead on midnight now, buddy. Thanks so much for joining me to look through all this stuff.
You're welcome, buddy. It was loads of fun.
It was cool. And it's hard to keep the ball rolling, but also not wanting to rush it too much because there's loads to say.
Indeed.
I think we've struck a decent balance there. So back to normal next week. Thanks so much for joining us, buddies. We'll catch you next time. But until then, I've been Alex. He has been Ash.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. You've been listening to the JFG Podcast with Ash and me, Alex. To find out more, head to www.justforgamers.co.uk, Facebook / The JFG Podcast, or Twitter, where we are at The JFG Podcast. Episodes go live every Sunday, and if you could pop onto iTunes and write us a quick review, we would love every inch of you, even if you got old and fat. Thanks so much for listening, and we will catch you next time.